All right, James, let's begin with you.
Uh-oh.
Tell me the name of your character and a little bit about yourself.
Leilana, she's a priestess of Corlan Lotharian, which is the elven allfather. He's also the elven god of their magic, as well as elven war. He's the guy that blinded Gurmsh, the one eye, the orc god, who only has one eye. He only has one eye because Clorian knocked one of them out in an epic battle.
You know a lot more about the religions of Dungeons & Dragons than I do, because I know zero, and you know actually a decent amount. So just give me some basic things so that my stereotypes are in the right direction with this god. You said she's a goddess of, like, obviously elven.
Well,
it's a he?
Sometimes he appears female, sometimes he's androgynous, sometimes it's a he, sometimes it's a she, doesn't matter. He's the creator of all the elves, so I guess male and female.
So creator gods usually have like a fertility overlay. Is that true in this case?
There's a elven goddess of fertility as
so
well.
That's something
Not
else.
really, yeah.
Okay. So give me some buzzwords that make sense for this god.
I mean, war, but it's righteous war, usually self-defense.
Okay.
You know, usually against orcs and the evil forces.
Is it specific to elves, or he just...
He's pretty much mostly elves.
Okay.
And promoting the elvish people.
So if I think of him as an elven war god, that's not off. That's fine.
No.
Okay.
But again, it's not like some of the other war gods that just do it for the glory.
War for no reason, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
And my character is a green elf / wood elf. So, you know, they generally think of themselves as a little... they're not jerks about it like the high elves are, but they think of themselves more like pure elves because they generally stick more to nature and more in the woods and stuff like that.
In a normal campaign without a paladin and a cleric, the one religious person kind of takes both mantles, kind of by default. Here we have a paladin and a cleric. So the paladin's perspective is a little easy. He's the military arm of the church. But his church is different than yours, obviously. But tell me a little bit about that distinction from your character's perspective. Like, where is your line?
More of promoting the elvish people, and I'm assuming if I'm in the Underdark, I'm there most likely saving somebody, or even looking into the past, because at one point the Dark Elves weren't, or the Drow weren't. The Drow were Dark Elves, and they lived above the surface, and obviously there was a war. And they lost the politics. And Lolth, their goddess, was once married to Clorian. So they were good and enjoyed the light.
And that's cool because there's a direct connection to Lolth there, so we can use that on the back end. But that means that there's obviously Lolth, and she's obviously in charge of the Dark Elves directly through Menzoberranzan and through the main church of the Dark Elves. And then there are a lot of other Dark Elves. Obviously in charge of I shouldn't say a lot, but there are other factions of Dark Elves that aren't under Lolth.
Sure.
So your god would definitely have a problem with them being eradicated.
I mean, yeah.
Because they would be not only elves, not under Lolth.
Right.
So then I think that would be one of the obvious things. Like, why are you down here is the big question. Like, why would your god have sent you here? We have to have some tie-in of things that your character is aware of at this stage.
Sure. So, well, also, a lot of what the Dark Elves do is slaughter the light elves, the surface elves.
Yes.
Sometimes they go on raids just to kill them to prove themselves.
Right.
Or to gain resources. Somebody I love could have been taken, or I could be looking for those ones that were brought below and weren't killed.
Okay. So you were part of an expedition of people, I would say about 8 of them, that are traveling into the Underdark for some reason.
Okay.
2 of them have just been killed because the travel is never easy in the Underdark. Would have been killed for some other normal way during the travels. That left about 6 of you that had approached the settlement of Sloobludop, where the fish people are.
Okay.
And you guys began to, obviously, you have some purpose to be in Sloobludop, or you would have not come, or you would have just left. But it might be as simple as you needed resources or you had to check in. But this could also have been your destination. It makes a little more sense if there was a reason you guys came here specifically, because otherwise it's kind of an out-of-the-way fish town. Why exactly are you bothering to be here?
Sure. Fishville.
But we can obviously say you were told to come here, right? But I don't want to put those words in your mouth if you have some objective of what your character's religious purpose is at this moment. But the 6 of you would have been not captured, but, roughly questioned, what are you doing here, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And you would have said, because you're not the only one that's part of this entourage, right? There's this group. I would imagine there's other clerics, there's possibly other guides.
Sure.
But the 6 of you, and you did have a guide who was let me get the name right. If I say dark elf, not dark elf. If I say a dark dwarf, it might be a Durgar or whatever, and I might mix them up. I can get it right if you give me 2 seconds.
Killed off old fun run last time.
He's a Durgar. There's a Durgar named Hemeth who was one of your guides.
Okay.
He's definitely here. But they would have captured you and said, what are you doing? And you would have mentioned your official purpose. Like, well, we're here to do this and this and talk to you guys and investigate. And so they put you guys in a big lodge, right? So these 2 huts over there, those are kind of like where you guys have been. One of them would have been the home of the archpriest. And then the other one would have been like a prison.
Okay.
Right? And so when you arrive, they go, oh yeah, well, because of course you're talking to a fish. He says, well, we'll put you in this lodging. And as they bring you guys to this lodging, you go, this is not a lodging, this is a prison. But there's no prisoners, right? It's been cleaned up. So,
okay.
You obviously have the ability to ask questions, but we're gonna warp through about a week of events in between the party doing what they're doing, so we can catch the story up.
Sure.
But obviously, I don't want to take away your opportunity to do things and talk to people and learn things. It's just that it's already in the past, so we're gonna try to fly through what happened. But what you can find out is that you say, well, why it has its own dangers, and you need a ship of some sort. And so the natural waypoint is to hit the Dark Lake. And as you go to the edge of the Dark Lake, basically near where you guys are, is the town of Sloobludop, the fishman town. And so you guys plan to go there, and you have many NPCs with you. We'll remind everybody. You have Buppido, the guy who wants to... What do we know about Buppido? Buppido, he's super talkative. Relentlessly optimistic and gregarious and talkative. So we have him. We have Daradil, which was an elven prince who was cursed to become a Quaggoth. You have Shushar, who's the fishman, who's guiding you guys here to Sloobludop. We have Seraph, who's the dark elf, the one person who really knows a lot about the Underdark. Stool is his compatriot. They're all traveling together. Seraph wants to do what Stool wants to do, which is to get Stool back to the Neverlight Grove. So they're kind of like a team. They want to go to Neverlight Grove. Shushar wants to come here to Fishman Village. Daredevil wants to get back to the surface and find his elven people. Buppido doesn't care what happens. He's a long-term criminal. So he's like, this is better than being in jail. So he's along for the ride. And then Jim Jar is a deep gnome, which is also called a Smurfnerblin, and he's the guy who wants to gamble about everything. So you guys can have this. Who else do we have? We have Topsy and Turvy, who we found out they're were-rats, and we know that the full moon is coming soon, like very soon, like within days. And they're very concerned that during the full moon they won't be able to control their transformation, and they're going to go crazy. Okay? So let me try this drink. I love the smell. That's really good. That's really soft. Love it. Okay. And then we had Eldrith Fun Run, but she was killed.
She had a fun run.
Yeah, she had a very short fun run. She was killed in the middle of the night when she would have been on watch, you suspect.
That's what happened.
And she was taken or lured away from the camp about 20 yards. Mm-hmm. And then, from the looks of it, was cut to pieces. And then you guys found the crime scene and decided not to waste the meat and stripped her and ate her as beef jerky.
Oh, we did. It was good.
She was good.
Which was a very awkward point because as we looked around the room, there is not a single character who cares.
But one.
In the whole party. Most of them are Underdark evil people.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I get
He's a bird. So the bird doesn't mind eating a person. And she had no qualms with it, and even the gnome had no qualms with it. Wow. So
I don't care.
It carried us for 2 days, right? Or 3.
Two.
you had 2 full days of food.
I mean,
yeah.
Food.
That day
I
and
get why the
next day.
vulture was like,
Yeah.
you gonna eat that?
So 60 pounds of meat strips.
Pass me a calf.
So while
we
running
could
for the
let it
drow,
mature a little bit.
right? They didn't have salt, so they had to eat it fast or lose it.
Not for this guy.
Right. I guess that's fine. Well, if it's rancid, it's still gonna be rancid. So you guys had the food you needed to just not forage for food at all and just make a run for it. So after trying to keep a fast pace for only a few days, not only did they make distance from their drow pursuers because of their pace, by random luck, because of course the game has this giant chart of, find out what you find in the Underdark, everything they found was like an erupting chasm or a lava stream, and they all burst right behind them by coincidence, so that every step of the way the drow had more and more impediments, and they were free to go. It was almost divinely plotted that they could make their way to the Dark Lake as fast as possible. And we might even just want to play in that it wasn't stupid luck. It was actually a divine plan to get the party together faster. Well, that's what we're going to say it was.
Hang on, the pod 85, you weren't here, but Josh said we're going to use our imagination. I know, weird in a game like this, but our palm trees are mushrooms or stalagmites.
Right, so take a feature for what it seems to be. If this is a tree-like thing, but we're in the Underdark, it's a mushroom.
Right.
This statue thing is a real statue, and then those huts are real huts. But it would be darker. If you're in the Underdark, it would be a lot darker than this appears to be. But we have some maps. The one thing we're going to need is if we do get into open conflict with the fish people, there could be 10 of them or 12.
Oh, that was mine, Josh.
We need a warband
Yeah.
of fish people?
We do. It'd actually be a really cool thing to make. What we have instead is we have the Ancient Evils Horde has a 4-pack of these little fishmen.
Yeah.
And I know we popped them and we're using one for him.
Did
But we could grab a pack or 2 of that and have more.
Oh,
But
underground
even
zone.
cracking 2 copies of that package is not going to give us the quantities we need.
Is there? What about a
But
pirate?
Saria, while you're
swarm?
idle, if you can just pluck out any, but just use the lizard men, because we
Okay.
have gobs of lizard men.
Yes.
So while you're idle, if you can just slowly base lizard men,
Especially out of the box.
mm-hmm.
There's like 8 lizards.
There's a bunch of lizard people in there.
We don't need a mushroom tall guy, do we?
We might later, so we might as well keep them separated. But that'll be that.
They go, gotta keep them separated.
Don't pay no
Every
mind.
single person says. All right, here you go. There's going to be some lizard people in there. I think one of the pages is all lizard people.
I think
That'll
so
save you
too.
some time.
Damn, this guy's breaking on me. My own buddy's not even defending me.
What's up with James' face?
He just looked like that.
Do I got something?
I say that to my kids constantly. I go, oh, what's that? What's that? And I go, what's on your face? And they go, huh? I go, oh, that's just your face? Oh, I'm sorry, never mind. I do it to them daily. They never catch on.
It just looks like that.
The pod 85's not getting any freebies with his orders.
He's sitting right across from you.
Just saying.
Do you have any
Yeah.
pockmark spaces? Yeah.
Don't ruin the immersion there, Saria. Trying to stir up
Did
some,
we have a
trying to
spell
stir up
sheet
some
that
tea in the stream here.
is dark but still like kind of see-through that we could put over this to make it look like the Underdark?
We do have a full
We
sheet of
do. We have
darkness.
full sheets of darkness, but I don't want to get 6 sheets and lay it all over everything. But that's we could.
We can turn the lights down lower.
We definitely could. Yeah, we can turn the
Just turn the
lights
lights
on.
off, yeah.
And this is obviously the exact size of
encourage it.
darkness.
If you like
Darkness
the
will cast
doors
here, I
and turn
think,
the
so.
lights down
Yeah, the
low.
darkness sheet.
They would only work for a little bit.
All right, so the
Where's-
party is traveling toward this place, and your Kuatoa guide is named Shushar, and he tells you guys, we're getting close. Sloobludop is close. And he had given you guys a little heads up from what he remembers last time, but you're not going to know the real politics of the city until you actually get to the city, and then I'll fill you all in on that. But what other arrangements do you guys want to make as you approach Sloobludop? Several of your NPC friends suggest that you guys might want to get boats, but they don't know that they should go with you into the city. Now
That's always a good sign.
you of course can keep the party together, but I'm just looking at the management of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14 people.
Don't forget my 5 buddies.
Right.
Yeah, who knows who James is bringing in. Where are we at with food now? I know we ran out of fun run.
You guys ran out of her, and then you found a mushroom cave.
Oh, that's
And
right.
so you were able to restock mushrooms. So you have a series of mushrooms that have different values. Most of them are like water mushrooms or food mushrooms.
That's right.
But if I recall the names, you guys have written down the couple that are special mushrooms.
Yeah, I have those.
And then additionally, you have a mushroom that is full of water. So you have the equivalent of like fresh water skins.
That's right.
And then you have another mushroom that is like a blue mushroom called blue cap, which you can turn into like a paste. And not only can you just eat it raw as like a doughy paste, that can be cooked into like bread.
Bread, yeah.
So you guys have
We got one
Little
that's like hot
shroomy
sauce,
bread.
you said.
you have that. Those are the special
What's up?
ones. Yeah.
Turn the heat off.
The heat's on.
Fire lichen is the
Really?
hot
Maybe just
sauce.
turn it down, not on.
A
Something.
little bit more AC.
I'm just gonna have to take my Christmas off.
You want more cold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
You're
I'll just
multi-layered
take my
here, so-
shirt off. Yeah, I have a T-shirt under my sweater.
Yeah, make it colder, or I'm taking my shirt off. You can say this as
it's
directly as you
getting
want.
hot in here.
All right, so fire lichen is a
Give me
hot
some
sauce.
water.
Yeah. Well, then cool down. What's wrong with you? Durgar can also ferment your fire lichen into a fiercely hot liquor.
Oh,
Yes.
So you have two cool potentials for this food.
Garnet said yeah.
Yes.
What is a hot liquor?
So yeah, but then you have barrel stock, which is basically water, and you have blue cap, which is basically like bread. All right. So the idea is floated that maybe we should keep a small camp outside of town where people that don't need to go into the city can wait for you guys
Ooh,
to
okay.
give us good news.
Okay.
And you don't have to. The idea's just been floated.
Well, I'm gonna go in.
Well, the players are going for
So-
sure.
Well, she's been our lead, so we got to keep following her.
Right.
I'm gonna lean for right now.
So would you like to leave anyone behind in a separate camp outside the city?
We're choosing that?
You're the leader.
A person of the NPCs has floated the idea,
Someone
and
needs to
everyone
stay
looks
back.
to you for the answer.
The twins.
The twins will stay outside?
Yeah.
That actually makes a lot of sense because they don't want to go crazy in the middle of the town. Would anyone stay with them?
I want Stool to come with us.
That makes sense. If Stool's going, Sarah's going. And
Yeah.
Shushar's going.
Yeah.
So these three are staying for sure.
This one's Sarah's, right?
Tipsy Turvy will stay outside the town. And they need like a babysitter.
Jim
For lack of a better
Jar.
word.
Maybe.
Because otherwise they're just gonna like get lost because they're tiny and they're
Still have
weird.
Jim Jar.
Yeah.
And Buffado and Daredevil.
So.
They can all stay.
Jim Jar had something that was like a good special thing, huh? Where you can like tell people what to do.
That's Buffado. Buffado has the suggestion spell.
Okay. What does Jim Jar have? Because I guess we can base it
He's
on.
got a thief jab, a low blow, flash power.
Should you stay behind? What are your moves?
No, bro.
What is your special
What
abilities?
can you do?
Maybe Daredevil could stay behind.
Daredevil
'cause
and
his is
Jim
just,
Jar
like-
stay?
Yeah, when his is for when he gets injured.
All right, so these five can stay, and they plan to make a little camp outside. So right as you barely start detecting Sloobludop in the distance, they're gonna find a small cave or make a little camp, and they basically say, "Yeah, go get us good news, and we'll stay in this little camp." But you said you wanted Buffalo to come with you because he has suggestion. You might want that magic.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I thought
Buffalo's
we were
coming.
just choosing two.
No. Let as many as you're comfortable letting stay. The bigger the camp that stays is, the less they're going to get rolled upon and taken out.
Okay.
Right? So, all right. So we'll have those four stay behind. So that means he's staying. That means Topsy Turvy are staying, and that means Jim Jar are staying. Right?
Jim Jar.
Put them with those. Those guys are out of our hair. And to recount who is with us, we have Shushar, who is our guide. We have Sereth and little stool.
Still sample.
Buppido is this guy. Okay? And then the rest of the party. Garnet's here. Bird's here. And Ren is here. Alright, so this is our team. Nope. Too many L's. This is our team that is approaching Sloobludop.
With the group.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 people. Am I wrong on that count? 7 of us are approaching Sloobludop. Okay?
Yep.
And you guys can deal with these from there. I don't need to deal with them anymore.
Okay.
Spread them out, pass them around, and all of you can telepathically communicate because Stool is with you. All right, James.
Yes, I'm back.
So, at first, it isn't hostile. They really are doing what they said. They put you in a converted prison, but it is more or less just a room, right? It has some of the entrapments of what was maybe a cell, but it was simple and it was still a building.
Okay.
And you've been here for a day or two, but you know that things are not okay because if you guys want to do anything or talk to anyone, you basically have to barter. And even the simplest of stuff. And you've dealt with the Kuoto before, so that's not too unusual. But in the past, this entire city is run by one predominant church. And you negotiate with the archpriest, and whatever happens, happens. That's that. Okay? But now, the archpriest has a second faction that he's contending with.
Okay.
And so every single thing you go to do, you'll talk to the guard on the left, and you'll be like, don't talk to the archpriest, we want to go talk to these people or whatever. And then the other one will be like, but what about, what are we going to get for that? And it feels like you have to barter your way into every little thing you ask for.
Okay.
So, yeah, it is weird. But you guys are being fed, and you're there for maybe a day and a half before you guys go and talk to someone, probably the archpriest or maybe one of his subordinate priests. And when you come back to the cell, the person who was supposed to be there is gone. So one of you goes missing. And the fish don't have straight answers for you. And so the concern very rapidly becomes, what the hell's going on here? Where did our guy go?
Yeah.
And the 48 hours following that are like a nightmare, right? So I think at that point you're down to like 5 people, and then 3 more vanish within 48 hours.
Okay.
It becomes quite clear that they're just finding excuses to grab your guys and just they disappear. So you're being rapidly disappeared.
Okay.
You need some excuse for why they aren't going to disappear you.
Yeah.
And whoever the other authority figure was in your group is gone. So you basically, I'll just say that there's some number of unimportant people. There's your guide that I told you.
Yep.
And there's you. And so the only thing I really want to boil it down to is, what did you say or who did you talk to get yourself not disappeared? You know what I mean? Like, it makes perfect sense. You would have said something or been wily.
Yeah.
So you got to fill us in on what that could have been.
Let's say probably just bartered with their high priest.
All right. So you talk to the high priest. You're the
And
most
say,
direct guy.
that I'm here on a religious mission, and it has, nothing to do with their people, and
Right.
if anything, it has more to do with, some strange disappearances and things happening in the Underdark, as well as, mutual enemy, which is the Drow. So
Okay.
to do anything to me or my people is eventually going to cut into your own power. In the
So you've had
Underdark.
some informal meetings with the archpriest adjacent and with the group.
Yeah.
But this will be the first time that you and him go and have a one-on-one and chat for a minute.
Okay.
Okay? He uses magic. I don't know if you also have this ability to cast tongues. Can you cast tongues?
Oh, not yet.
Okay, so that's pretty important then that you don't have access to tongues.
Mm-hmm.
So you're kind of beholden to him casting it, or there's no way to communicate. Because whoever would have been your communicator is gone. So he casts tongues and has an audience with you and really talks to you, and he doesn't seem as lunatic as you were afraid of.
All right.
He seems pretty reasonable. And he says that his name is Plupupine, and that he is the archpriest of this entire settlement. And you're obviously very concerned that your people are being disappeared right out of their home, right out of their room. They're supposed to be guests and yet they're vanishing at an alarming rate. And as this comes to a head, you do not have to convince him of the seriousness or the urgency. He seems to be completely on board with you, saying,
Okay.
You're absolutely right. I'm agreeing with you. This shouldn't be happening. And he explains that for a long time, the settlement has been stable. And everybody worships the Sea Mother.
Yep.
Blibdulpulp.
Yep. Blah, blah.
Okay? Yeah. Blibdulpulp. And he goes, we all worship the Blibdulpulp, and everything is good, and we're all happy. But my own daughter has created a splinter faction.
Okay.
And we have often had these upstart new factions. They come and they go. There's no problem. But this is different. She has had a vision from a new god. So we follow we follow the Sea Mother,
Yep. Yep.
and she has had a vision from the Deep Father. I ignored it, and I probably shouldn't have. I should have put a stop to it sooner. But I thought this is just another religion. This happens.
It's good.
Okay.
It's good.
Okay, good. I'm expecting the glug glug glug, but it's empty. So,
Just sound effects.
he showed her a vision, but then he gave her powers, and by telling the people that she has this vision and this powers, she has had an alarming number of followers convert very quickly.
Okay.
So, in the town, there's the great shrine to the Sea Mother, and they have hastily built their own temporary shrine closer to the coast. And everything in the city has been chaos since, as every little thing we do.
Plastic.
Ooh.
No, it's garbage.
No, that's the garbage.
Yeah, it's garbage. Okay.
Sorry, we're not under attack, everybody. It's just,
We don't know if you guys can
they're
hear it, but
emptying the
there is
dumpster.
there is some loud thudding outside. Truck on truck action.
Oof.
Everything in the city has been hectic since that day.
Don't kink shame. Yes.
Transformers. More than meets the eye. I want to do the robot voice and everything. What are you doing in the bedroom? The stupid Optimus Prime voice.
Yeah.
We'll be back
He
in
only has.
5.
Well, HR
This is about to
intercedes.
take a hard left,
Yeah, I
and
think-
it might take a minute.
But he says their faction is zealous and fervorous, and they're doing everything they can to destabilize our city.
Okay.
And they're the ones that are grabbing your people.
Okay. What are they doing with my people? Are they sacrificing them to their god?
I'm trying to think of like what his euphemism would be. Because he's a fish, right? They have definitely gone to see the Deep Father.
Unfortunately. I say a prayer
Yeah.
to Chlorian.
Yeah.
Chloralon.
So he's with you in trying to find not a solution, but a reason that'll stop you from being grabbed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And he says we should go meet with the other high priest and figure something out.
I'm pretty sure it's only going to get me killed, but I'm willing to give it a try.
What other? Yeah, you don't have any suggestions or options?
I don't know the inner workings of. Yeah, I don't know the inner workings of your religion, and clearly your politics are in upheaval. So I don't know. I don't know what help I could be in this situation.
Right.
I mean, I could maybe help them see the gravity of the situation that's happening outside, and if you infight, the Drow and the Mind Flayers is just going to come here and have a fish fry, and you're all fucked.
Yeah. Hey, this is my own daughter. We should be able to speak to her. I know she's gone crazy, but she's not that crazy. And he goes, come. And he gets a little escort of like 2 people,
Okay.
and they march you over to the other temple.
Okay.
And as you guys approach, they have their little acolyte soldier guards, whatever. Because it's like a church, but it's like a military church. Because everything in the fish world is militant. Like every single guy standing around has a fish spear or has claws for hands. I mean, everybody. It's like when you're if you're in a city of cats, they can get in a giant cat fight. It's very different than a city of unarmed human people, you know? So there's a danger level just in regular fish people walking around. And this is the first time he really takes you through the city and goes walking around. And you notice all kinds of strange things about these people. One, they're like... I guess he would even just tell you. He would just, do like a tour guide, right? Let me tell you a little bit more about my people. And he would explain that at any given time, a large percentage of the fish people you see aren't actually awake. They're all sleepwalking.
Okay.
It's like, because we're from the ocean and we're used to this kind of automated movement even when we sleep. And so he's like, so don't be alarmed. If you try to call out to a fish person and they don't respond, they might not be awake.
Okay.
And it's like he's feeding you with like useless information because it's like the question on the table is, will you be murdered in 5 minutes? And it's like, our tourism is quite good.
I am going to try to be diplomatic and act like this is the most interesting thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. So as you approach this temple, the guards like do that thing where they like pick the spears up like guards, and he's like aghast, and he's like, "Do you know who I am? I am Sloobludop, the archpriest." He's like, "How dare you raise a spear to me?" And you can tell, like you've probably seen it from other cultures, this little faction, they're zealotous and they're being like this is our time to shine, so we got to act extra self-important.
Right.
But they understand, like, okay, yeah, you are the archpriest, okay, and they put their little spears down, and you guys march up the little steps of this little temple, and you're introduced to his daughter. Her daughter is Sloobludop.
Clearly.
And
Obviously.
And he's standing with you, and he says, Sloobludop, we must speak. And the girl comes up, of course, to you with tongues. I'm guessing it's like magically translated.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious, like what that would sound
Star
like.
Trek one.
Right, but does it sound like Siri is talking to your voice? It's a guy, a girl, high pitched, low pitched. It's all going to translate
Like
as
a bad dub.
like a dubbing. That's kind of what I'm curious about. What is it going to sound like in your ears? I don't know. But she just says something like super mean, like, you have no purpose for being here, piss off. And he's like, no, we do have real thing to discuss. And he kind of points at you.
I give her a respectful bow, and I say, I'm curious as to the whereabouts of my people, and we were here addressing a mutual threat to both the surface and to your people, and if your infighting continues, it will most likely lead to our mutual destruction.
She says, I've had a vision from Limugugu, Deep Father. And all the other fish people go, a vision, a vision.
Yeah.
And they bow down because she's had a vision.
I respect her vision. I'm a priest, so I respect your vision.
And she says, vision says we must have as many offerings as possible. Your people, unimportant. We gave them as offering to Deep Father.
Excellent. Man, I don't know. I say, I'm going to say, what was the nature of your vision? Because I have also had a vision.
Do you say that?
Yeah.
You say you've had a vision.
Yeah.
All the little things go, a vision! A vision! And then she goes, what? You also have vision?
Yes. I saw that what called me down here was a need for an alliance to fight against this common threat. Something is growing deep within the Underdark and is going to cause a great upheaval. And it will affect the surface as well. But obviously it's going to hit your people first. And I know if you infight, and I've seen it, the Drow and the Mind Flayers will easily take over.
Like a YouTube viewership chart. You say you have a vision, and she goes, I want to hear about this. And as you start talking, like, she's super interested for about 3 seconds, and her attention just gets like by 6 seconds into your vision explanation, she's half listening. By 10 seconds, she's basically just waiting for you to stop talking. So she had enough of an attention span to get like the bullet point, and the bullet point in her little fish brain translates more to like my vision something surface, and she's like, okay, surface issues. Which you're like, that is not the bigger point. But she goes, well, your vision very interesting. And they go, vision. You know, if you mention the little fish word for vision from God, everybody bows down to the vision from God. And as you guys are discussing that guide, which we said is the only other guy hasn't been sacrificed yet. What did we say his name was?
I got it.
Starts with an H.
Hemeth.
Hemeth?
Yep.
Fish people are bringing Hemeth up the stairs behind you, and he's now like tied up and shackled. And you know you're in the middle of a conversation. The archpriest is like, "We have to figure out what we're gonna say to this chick." So she stops feeding your people to the ocean, and they bring up the only other guy like within seconds.
Yep.
And then he turns and goes, "What is this?" And they just say, "The next offering's here."
Wow. I am going to say that the deep dwarf is, how would I say this? The deep dwarf is very important to my vision and for us all to address this mutual threat. He must live.
The archpriest obviously is agreeing with you, and he spats out something like, "This is ridiculous. You know, we can't even have an issue if before we can even finish the conversation, you're throwing people into the ocean." And then she says some stupid, like, you know, because a kid, right, a teenager lashing out, says some stupid comment like, "We're not throwing them in the ocean, we're murdering them on the altar."
Right.
Like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Then we throw them into the ocean.
But the archbishop summons some ounce of like the automatic respect his position deserves, and he says, "Enough of this," and he like whacks his stick down, and he goes, "You will not sacrifice these people. This has to end." And she looks at the two of you, you know, she goes, "Well, you can't have both." And you're sort of like listening to two fish people argue about the spoil splitting. And basically the temporary truce he negotiates is that you won't be touched. You had a vision. And they go, "Oh, we understand that. Yeah, we're not going to sacrifice someone who had a vision. That's really important." But she says you can't have both, so I still get to have the guide. And he goes, "But he said it's important to his vision." And then she goes, and he goes, "So delay his execution. Just chain him up." And that's basically where things are left. And then she goes, "Okay, that'll work, but we don't know how long we're gonna wait. But as it stands, as of that conversation, you're off the table. Like they can't kill you. You're a religious person. You have a holy vision, so you have a sort of mantle of respect, and that means they're not going to sacrifice you. And they're saying they're going to sacrifice the other guy, but it's been delayed. So they separate you. This is now your prison room all to yourself.
Okay.
And you can now kind of walk freely in the city, do what you need to, and discuss what you need to, supposedly without the fear of being offered. But the only other person in your troop is locked up and kind of awaiting his fate.
I asked the high priest if he has a acolyte that I may travel with as a guide around the city, because I clearly don't trust the situation, as he should easily understand.
Sure. He assigns you... There's like three types of kuatoa. There's the low kuatoa, which are called kuatoa. Then there's whips, and then there's monitors.
Sure.
I don't know which one's stronger. The monitor is CR3, and the whip is CR1. So the monitors are stronger. So he assigns you a whip.
Okay.
So he says, yes, we have people that are of some authority. and they're called whips. They have a word, a fish like a priest. And he says, "I will give you a guide, and this guy can guide you around, tour you, and translate for you. Because obviously you need a translator when the archpriest is around." And then you guys step away from this altar. Now, to explain this altar, this I put down as a ring, right? But if I could draw it, it is in this book, and I will show you a picture of it. It is this.
Okay.
So it is and I'll show stream. Oh, there's so much glare. There you go. It's basically a giant stone dais they've pushed over to the edge of the Dark Lake, right? They've set up wooden stakes. They've captured a giant stingray, and they've killed it, and they've strapped it as like a floorboard. Then on top of that, they've strapped 2 octopuses. So it looks like one big octopus is actually 2 octopuses tied to each other, and they've tied them together, and they've strung
together,
and they've basically made an effigy of dead sea creatures.
Excellent. That's got to smell incredible.
And not only does it smell horrifying, but the fish all smell horrifying.
Right,
so it's like that probably smells great to them. You guys are walking up and down the stairwell, walking up into it and the platform. But not only is it disgusting, the entire thing itself, the dais and the platforms and the stairs even, they're just covered in blood. So they're just like, when they say offerings, they're just gutting people, splashing their blood around everything, and then throwing them into the Dark Lake.
Sure.
So if you looked out to the Dark Lake, I don't think you can see. Can you? You're an elf, so you can see the dark.
I can see.
All right. I don't know if you'd be able to see that far, but if you could see the edge of the Dark Lake, there's probably even a little pile of corpses, because they are sacrificing people at an alarming rate.
Okay.
But that's basically the situation as of now. The clock has been removed from you being offered, but you're kind of still detained / if you tried to get anything, you got to give something in exchange.
Yeah.
But you do have a little bit of opportunity to move around, and you can talk to people and communicate and all that. But there's 2 of these priests, and they're at odds with what to do with people.
Yep.
Okay, back to the party. You guys have split your group, and now your main group is heading toward Sloobludop. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And as you guys approach Sloobludop, you are approached by a group of Kuatoa. And unless you're hiding your presence, which is a little hard because you're trying to get to the city, they basically see you and call out to you. Okay?
Alright.
So it's a welcoming party. They basically go, hey, human people, hey!
Fearless leader.
Where's Shushar? You have the Shushar card somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
Shushar? Shushar says, fish people, let's talk to them,
Yeah.
right?
Peanut butter is
It's just really
It's
sticky.
So good.
Smaller pieces.
It is good,
good,
but it just sticks.
So Shushar, what's Shushar up to now?
He's 2 feet ahead, saying, I'll parlay them, right? And so as your group gets to about 30 feet away from their group, and Shushar's kind of in front, he calls out in his little Murloc tongue, blah, 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 whatever he says, because he's speaking to them now, not to you telepathically, so now he sounds like a fish man. And they don't even call back. They're already throwing spears.
Oh, alright.
Damn.
So even to their own guy, even to being parlayed, they're a raiding party.
Alright.
Okay.
My guy's going back.
It can straight up go combat, or it can be if you guys have any power or options for what to do about it. There's options, but otherwise, they're just gonna attack. If there's nothing stopping them from just attacking, they're just gonna attack. And the fishman calling out to them is not enough to stop them.
Is there a plethora of fish people over there? Are we at
Are we? You said we're 30 feet away.
Yeah, roughly 30 feet, because you're kind of standing around waiting for them to approach and expecting a conversation to happen when they just start hucking stuff at you.
full seafood platter over there, or is this just an appetizer?
I'm gonna shoot a magic missile.
Alright, so you just go to combat.
I mean, they're throwing spears at me. I don't want to die. I'm
Exactly.
only human. How many?
It's 8 fishmen led by what looks like a priest. So if you have one that looks a little bigger.
8, 9.
Okay, who's going to be our priest?
Those two are actually the same.
Is there a wizardy looking guy? Oh, this will be the priest because he's like a tentacle monster.
Slightly different.
Yes. He's not even a fish
Slightly
man. He's a tentacle monster.
Kind of look like it.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll use the gridding as our gridding, but obviously the location is completely not this. Do you want me to lay down some generic maps? Would that help?
Or if you could just push us off to the side over there or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Like, just get us out of the
This is
water.
what we'll do. We'll have you guys literally be on the far, far, far edge with the Shushar slightly in the front.
If only we had numbered bases somewhere.
Totally fine. And then, like I said, from 30 feet away, which is like 10, 20, 30, here's where the fish people begin.
You said he's slightly ahead of us?
I did it. Yeah,
Oh,
he's slightly ahead.
okay.
So yeah, when you expect they would start to communicate, instead of even hailing you or even like saying, "Hey, what's up?" they just start attacking. They just
Wow.
absolutely, they see you guys, they walk over and they just go straight into raiding.
Magic missile, 1d4 damage. 1, 2, 3, line
It's
them up.
actually, yeah, it's actually 3d4 plus 1 each.
3d4?
Mm-hmm.
Because
When you cast magic missile, you summon several missiles, and you're reading the damage of each missile, which is d4 plus 1.
Oh.
But you start with 3 missiles at level 1, and if you over-level the spell, it'll get more missiles. But you probably don't want to cast as a level 2 spell, because a level 2 spell would have been better than that.
Yeah. Yeah, first
So, there's no surprise round. You know, sometimes there's like, we had no idea they'd attack us. You're well aware the risk is there, so you're not surprised. But because they start the fight, I'm giving them the initiative, if that makes sense. Because obviously they just chose to attack. And then you guys can roll initiative, and we'll go from there.
Five. That.
9. Oh wait, plus 1. 10.
You'll add your initiative bonus, yeah. Ren's at a 10. Garnet's at a 5.
And you add your initiative, which is
8, 9.
What's your his name? Cyrus?
Cyrus.
Cyrus. And then your other people can just, they're not going to be really hard combatants, but they can go at 0. Others at 0. And the special guy goes at 19. Wow. So they're all going first. The Kuatoa, what kind of weapons they have? They have spears. And so they throw some spears, and then they run in. Can they attack? Yes, they can throw their spears up to 60 feet away. So what they'll probably do is close to about 20 when they have a better chance to attack, and then they throw their spears about 20 feet out. So basically, 2 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of come at Shushar. 5, 10, 15, 20. About 2 of them come after Ren. About 2 of them come after... Oh, and the Birdman's up in the air. 1 goes after Garnet. And 2 of them start... They're going to stay back, but they're going to throw long-range spears at the bird. Right? Well, you're technically not up in the air yet.
No, I'm
You just
okay.
have to, but the fight started and you didn't know a spear was coming.
You came down and you're like,
You would have been like, hey, what are you guys doing? Oh, I was up in the air.
How fast is that spear flying? He can't get up in the air.
Point is, if he rolls really high, he hits you, whether you're flying or not.
Not convenient for him.
Yeah, that's how rolling works in this game. All right, 2 on Lauren. These are spears from about 20 feet away in the darkness, and they come. Oh, geez, getting started. Nice.
I don't think I was supposed to be first, right?
Yeah, they're supposed to be first. Does a 16 hit you? I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's with normal armor, and you don't even necessarily have that. So 2 spears come whizzing through the air. So you hear in the darkness, you hear, and then spears are already like landing into your position. D6 plus 1 each. You get hit for nothing. A 2 and a 3. You take 5 damage from some spears. Shushar also takes 2 spears, so he gets hit twice. And then Garnet. The spears come in at you. Jesus, 14 and 18. Those are 2 hits.
Yep.
For 7 and 2, you take 9 damage from spears. So they absolutely just shower the party in spears. And then Birdman, because they're keeping their distance and they're throwing at you and they're expecting you to fly, they have disadvantage on their attacks. Okay? So the first one takes only a 10, and the second one takes only a 7. So those spears, because they're so far away, those are, easy, like you said, easy for you to avoid because you're kind of half flying at the moment. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. That's them. And then this monitor, he is their wizardy type. What has he got spells-wise? Do they not actually have spells? Maybe the monitors are not priests. Maybe they're just strong. They can sense invisible things. They're slippery, and they have multi-attack. So no, this guy just this has to be wrong. They are priests, but they don't have any magic.
They worship a false god.
That's probably true. Deadly hand-to-hand combatants.
He's doing evil deeds right now.
No,
so.
yeah, you're probably right. Just because they pray to a stick doesn't mean they have magic. So instead of being in the back, he just runs in. And he just tackles Shushar. And they start like having a fish squabble.
That's a lot of move power right there. 120 speed.
Shushar telepathically tells you guys, like, oh crap, get him off me, these things are so nasty.
Good point.
Oh, eat that John Hunk, man. Someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
Go on, Josh.
The
You were
peanut
just
butter's
bragging about the
melting.
peanut butter. You love it.
I'm getting the peanut butter. What are you?
No,
They want you to
have
eat
one.
that double.
I don't think anybody
big
else is
one.
gonna eat
Oh,
that
that's what-
unless I can
I'll
put
get
it
to it.
back in the.
You don't eat an
Knife
elephant?
and-
How do you eat an elephant?
One bite.
One bite at a time.
One shoeshar at a time.
Here.
Do I happen to hear anything?
Nah, you're
Traveling around town, me and
this would have been like,
Tim don't hear.
we're not
motion?
supposed to be this close.
Okay.
This is just as they approach the town.
Okay.
So we'll hope this fight goes fast and then they'll actually get to town.
All right.
All right, players.
Yeah. Did we roll initiative?
R is first.
Yeah.
Yep.
Me.
Red.
Okay. I.
So Shushar says, get this guy off me. He remembers me from the old days.
Okay, so I could
doing
use
the old
my
days?
hand crossbow.
Okay.
It's the only thing I can do.
You have a sword.
I'm too far away though, right?
You're there, and this thing's tackling him like right there.
You can
This
run
is
forward
shorter than you think.
and
Yeah,
then
you're pretty
like
close.
whop him with a sword.
Oh,
Your
I
movement's
can
like
do-
25, like 5, 10,
Yeah.
15. Yeah, you can walk right up to this guy.
Okay.
And if you went to these, because they were throwing it 20 feet away, so 5, 10, 15, 20. So even they're within range. Yeah, you can engage the guys who threw spears at you, or you can engage the boss guy who's beating up Shushar.
So does a short sword do more damage than a crossbow? Because we don't have information.
You'll get more damage when you rage. Because you can't add your rage damage to your ranged attacks, but you can add it to your strength. And you just have more strength than you have dexterity.
Range crossbow.
So it's not that the crossbow does more damage, it's that one is your strength weapon and one is your dexterity weapon. And because your strength is significantly higher than your dexterity, you will have an advantage when you are using a strength weapon.
Christmas tree.
Okay, so the short sword, is that going to be the same stats as like the great?
It's d6 plus 1, or it's d6 plus your strength. So in your case,
I wanna
it's
drink
d6
them all
plus
on the first
3.
time.
Right?
You have
Yeah.
3 strength.
Okay, so the short sword is just 1 and the great sword is 2.
Yes, if you could get a big greatsword, you would have more base damage,
Okay,
but you have to go get one.
okay.
So yeah, the difference between your short sword and the great sword you wish you had is it would have another d6 damage.
Okay,
When you find your proper weapon, you'll get even more damage.
so then does
Yeah,
a
just
short
take
sword
it, it's
have
yours.
the
You want it?
You own
plus
it.
something
yours.
for the hit?
Uh,
Like I have on hand crossbow plus 3 on
So
hit.
that plus 3 hit is your proficiency of 2 plus your stat of 1. This will have your
Yeah,
proficiency
that
of 2
peanut butter's
plus
so
your strength
gooey,
of 3.
it just
So
So
it'll be
it
plus
would
5.
fine still.
sticks to itself.
And that's for when you roll.
There's like a
20?
phobia
Mhm.
Or, okay.
of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth.
So this is supposed to be D6 plus
Okay.
1. I just put a 2.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be
Or
d6 plus
it's
1.
Okay.
No, it's d6 plus
Those
1.
things
I
are-
did that.
It'll come off
It's not like a spider's
eventually.
gonna live
Okay,
with you,
I
but-
see now. That
So the
makes
weapons
sense.
are effectively the exact same, except your melee weapon can use your strength,
Mhm.
and it can use your rage,
Okay.
and your ranged weapon can just be ranged.
Mhm.
You can also put poison on either of them, but the poison is already laced on the crossbow bolts of your crossbow.
Okay.
Alright,
For now, I'm just gonna do the crossbow.
Savage GM, what was I doing at that time? Throwing James's people in a pit?
Whatever. Yeah, I don't remember that.
Something like that. Okay, so crossbow just from where I'm standing.
Ooh.
17.
Oh, you
That
did
actually
not
works
go
for
into
me.
melee. You're gonna shoot it. Okay. Is this one laced with the poison?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It is now. I don't remember how many of those you had, but you had some number of bolts that were poisoned. He fails his save from the poison itself. And how much damage you do?
Six.
So add the 1, so 7. So you did 7 damage to him, and you poisoned him. These are lesser enemies. I mean, they have a good amount of health. He's not dead, but being pretty heavily hurt and poisoned with the drow poison, he's like just taking a knee, like, oh, I'm out. So he's effectively down. He's not dead. He's breathing, but yeah, he is quite out of the fight because of that poison.
Okay.
So heavy damage plus poison. He just takes a knee.
I was wanting to shoot at the one that was attacking.
Oh, this guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that changes things.
That changes the whole everything.
Oh.
Then he has con and he doesn't fail the poison.
Hey.
He takes damage. He does take the damage. All right, who's up?
I had 9. What was your initiative?
Yep, you're right.
Sirius.
Serious?
Cyrus.
Cyrus
Radio?
the virus. Could I run or fly towards the altar there? Are we close enough to that? Could I
No.
pull
Pretend the
that?
city's not there.
Oh, no, that's even better.
I'm just using the grid for gridding. I could have put a new piece of fresh grid down. You're supposed to be. You can see the city, but it's at visual distance.
So we should have just put a piece of grass down.
I could
temporarily.
have. I could have gotten my swamp out and put flat swamp down, but we're like, we got the gridding. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Swamp,
So-
Imagination.
Yeah.
that's basically
All right.
what you're saying, right?
Birdman, what do you want to do?
Sure.
All right, Harvey Birdman, what's your plan?
All right. So she's attacked the guy that's down now,
Yeah, she shot him with a crossbow. She shot this guy.
but he's not like all slouched over anymore because he didn't get the poison.
No. I thought she was shooting a regular fishman,
Yeah.
and that shot plus poison would have downed him. But
Okay.
she shot the boss. The boss not only has more health, so he took the hit, his constitution is high enough that he would not have failed the poison check. So, on him, it would have knocked him out, but on this guy, it did damage and didn't poison him.
All right. I'm gonna attack this guy with my talons. I'll fly down and attack the dude that's closest to me with the big sword that you thought was originally being attacked.
This guy.
There you go.
Okay?
Okay.
And you're staying a bit in the air.
So I'm
Right.
up in the air. I'm gonna swoop down and give him a good smacking
Okay?
for 14 plus. Do I add strength or is it dexterity?
It's strength if you're doing melee hits.
Yeah, melee. So I'm at 18.
So that hits.
I would hope so.
As far as your flight goes, your real questions are, I got into melee, fine. Do you then fly out of melee? Because whether you agree with it or not, the game creates a little punishment when you break out of melee. So if you want to say, hey, I flew in and hit him, cool, and then I want to fly back up to an elevation that I'm out of melee, that totally works. But he will get that little free attack as you break melee with him. Now you might want that because then 5 people can't swing at you. But you've got to be clear with me that after you attack someone in melee, whether you're breaking that melee. And the perfect scenario for you is you swing in and kill him, and then you just fly up, and you never have to worry about that.
Okay.
How much damage you do? Let's start there.
All right. So it says with my talons, I hit +6 and I roll a d4 +4.
You have a sword, right?
But I'm using my talons.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
He can't fly and use a sword.
Sure you
Oh,
can.
sure you can. Look at that
Sure
guy.
you
can.
He's pretty brutal. So just
Sure
roll
you
this
can.
one.
He's like an
3-foot
angel.
tall woman can use a 5-foot tall.
Yeah.
Yeah. D4 plus 4.
Yep.
Plus the fact that
Dang.
he's
5
6
damage.
foot tall
5
and he
damage.
flies.
So you
without
rake his
like
shoulder
a
and
30-foot
tear up some fish guts.
Okay.
Okay? And you're not breaking melee. Unless you tell me you're
No,
breaking
I was-
melee,
I
I'm
was
assuming
saying-
that you're not.
I'm gonna stay in here and gouge this guy's eyes out.
All right.
It's all said and done.
Garnet,
Yep.
this is
Magic missile.
a perfect opportunity for you to use magic to full effect.
Yep.
There's some groupings here.
Boom, boom, boom.
Who are you magic missiling? You have 3 targets, 3 bolts. They can all go on one target.
I'm just gonna split them up because that group is kind of large. So I'll definitely help out Shushar
Okay.
because he has helped us out. I'll help this guy or hurt this guy.
Mm-hmm.
What about your buddy?
Well, he's not hurt yet. So, did you injure this guy?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's got 5.
Yeah, you injured him.
Kill him.
Kill
Yeah,
him.
yeah. I'll finish that guy too.
Let's
All right.
go.
So
Each one gets a D4 plus 1. So roll away.
1, 2.
1 in the snow.
There's my other D4.
Okay, so call up the one on the boss.
On the boss man. 2.
3 damage. Okay. The one
The
on
the
Sirius's
right.
friend.
Okay,
Sure.
we'll do the left guy.
Yep.
My left. That's a 4.
5.
Okay, he's taking 10 damage.
And that one gets a 3.
4 damage.
It's throwing heat over there.
That was actually a really good
That was a
one.
good one.
A 13 damage round. Better than a bird hitting for 5. She's like worth 2.5 birds.
You almost got a meal.
All right, the other people that might be relevant to this fight. Anybody important?
I mean, couldn't Seraph?
Yes, but he won't.
He won't, because he's just protecting.
Yeah, in
Stool.
this moment, he's not going to bother. But Buppido will jump in.
Buppido could do something.
Say, you can use Buppido as a full combatant.
Who's got Buppidos? Y'all got Buppido? No, we have Buppido.
Let James be Buppido.
There you go, James.
All right.
So, James, what you're looking at, if you haven't seen it before, is something done, I believe, I might have the details wrong, but this is what I think is the details. Matt Colville, you may have heard of him. He does a bunch of, like, homebrew DM stuff. He created what's called a retainer system, where he converts NPCs to this boiled-down version that's kind of more arcadey.
Okay.
And it seems pretty cool. The one potential downside is early game, when you would have had, like, 14 hit points, he converts it to checkboxes, and when enemies hit them, they roll con saves. And if they pass their con saves, it's like they took no damage. And when they fail their con saves, they get one of their 3 boxes of life gone.
Okay.
At very low levels, you just pass everything and you effectively have 1,000 hit points. But I think we're already out of that phase.
Okay.
These things can already do some damage, and But imagine you get hit 6 times for 5 damage. Your con is a DC 5, and the guy has a +4 con.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally invulnerable.
Okay.
But it'll play out. Not a big deal.
Okay. He's going to do his confusion.
Okay?
It's a 10-foot radius,
Read it
which
to
I
us.
just happen
Ooh.
to have there.
Very cool.
Blippadoo assaults and twists creatures' minds, spawning and provoking uncontrolled actions. Each creature in a 10-foot radius sphere centered on a point you choose within 90 must succeed a wisdom save or be affected by a chart and player's handbook of the confusion spell.
All right. Confusion it is. So if you can look up the confusion spell, I can find you the section. It'll save you a lot of time.
I can find it. Or you can do it.
Somewhere in there. If you go to the right of that, you'll find it alphabetically.
They're up to the right.
And so you're affecting, you say, the boss in 3, right?
Oh, did I just flip to the right page?
Like, one
Off
away,
by
because
one.
that's J.
'Kay.
Conjure confusion.
Here are the 3 regular Kuatoa. What's the DC for this? Does it say?
It doesn't say. It just says a wisdom save.
Then it's going to be 13,
Okay.
because that's pretty standard. He would have a
Got
proficiency
one
bonus of 2 and a...
He's
Well,
got
what's
a-
his stat?
It just says skills 3 or saves +3, abilities 3, so it's 3.
Yeah, if he's got a +3 wisdom, then they have to roll
Yep.
13.
His wisdom's +4 actually. That's the
Then they have to roll a 16
There you go.
if he's a player. So let's take his proficiency bonus away because he's not a player, so it's a 14.
Yep.
But it's fail, fail, fail. So all 3 of the regulars fail, and the monitor passes.
Okay.
So the 3 little guys are affected. And I
There you
believe
go.
it's like a percent,
Die 10.
a D10 on each of their turns, right? All right, so we'll figure out what they do in just a second. That actually is the end of the round, so let's start with them, the 3 of them.
Yep.
Here's their D10s. 2, 8, 4.
2 and 4 creatures don't move or attack this turn. They just stand there.
All right, these 2 guys are zeroed out. What's
And
the
the
8 do?
8 creature uses an action to make a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within reach.
That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the 10th one, re-roll it. The 5th one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He goes and punches his friend in the ribs. That will be an 18. Is almost a critical for 3 damage. So he stabs that guy for 3 damage.
Excellent.
All right. One of them has been confused and stabbed. Now that's going to last. When is it going to retest? Every
a new
round?
yeah.
Okay, so I'll re-roll it next time. So during the others phase, right after the others will be the confusion phase, because it'll be right after Buppido goes, then we'll deal with the confused ones.
I'll probably need that chart again.
Yeah. All right. So these
I'll
three
keep
are
it
dealt
handy.
with. They're all kind of just standing there. And now we have 3 more on Cyrus. Cyrus. What's your name?
Cyrus.
Okay, Cyrus.
Like virus.
Like a virus.
Like Con Air.
All right, Cyrus. The first one is going to grab a net. And he's going to throw this net at you and try to tangle you in the net so that you come crashing to the ground and he can have you be restrained. Its attack is a +3. Does a 10 hit you? I believe it does not.
What, you talking about armor?
Is your dexterity even a 1?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, so you just fly out of the way of this net fling. The second one is going to... When a creature misses the koto... Keep in mind, if you miss with a melee attack, you need to tell me. Okay? I don't think it's happened yet. You haven't missed, and she didn't miss, so when it happens, let me know. This one tries to stab you with a spear for a 10 as well and misses. And then the third one is going to try to come around and bite you.
Cyrus like papyrus.
There you go.
There you
Speed
go.
gets it. Ooh, a 19.
A 19 will hit you, but this is the bite. The bite does only d4 plus 1 damage, so I rolled the wrong dice. So that's not
4
fair.
plus 1 is 5.
Yeah, 5 damage.
Oh,
You get
good thing
bit
he's
for
got
a
a...
5. So you're like, floating, with flapping your wings and stabbing, and the one comes to your leg and goes, ah! And bites into your calf. So he's had some nice chicken for the morning. All right, so these guys are done. The big boss. The boss is just going to start pummeling Shushar. Blah, 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 blah. Just beating into him. Don't need to roll it. Shushar takes some damage.
So he's another...
Yeah, just check him off. Yeah, put 2 of them. Because he got tackled and now he got hit again. So he's getting beat up. There's 2 left,
Yeah.
and they're the ones that are supposed
I
to be
didn't have
engaging.
any
Garnet, one's going to run at you and one's going to run at Buppido.
Okay.
This is on Garnet, this is on Buppido. Garnet does an 18 hit you for
Yes.
2 damage.
Yes.
Is it a +1? Yeah. And then they miss Buppido.
You said 2 damage?
2 damage to you. Alright, player's turns. Top of the round, it is
Did we roll Buppido
the special,
initiative?
the bad guys. No, I'm putting him as the others. So yes, he's at 0.
Okay.
Bottom of the round. Ren.
Rage. Take them all
Like,
out.
I want to just stand back, but I'm the one with the most health.
Yeah.
So.
Do you
Just
grow
watch
with...
y'all
You
die.
don't increase size when you rage.
I
Like,
think she does.
so you can't just
Feels like she
clothesline all of them in one fell swoop. Just run through.
So yeah, I'll rage and come up to the boss guy.
Speed is saying that I asked a question and Speed answered in like he's in his own house. And he's like, I just said it out loud. Like we can hear him piping on mic.
He needs
Huh?
to be our live audience.
Mhm.
And just be like sitting over there.
Are you able to grab them with talons and drop them into the fryer?
That'd be nice.
Into
Fish
deep
fry
fryer.
time.
Who, serious? Hell yeah.
I like some fish sticks.
All
That's
right.
for you are enraging?
So I'm raging.
Ren is
You
raging.
gotta do it. You got me the emote.
Well, I have like 3 of them. Is that what I did last time? And I have,
It's
like,
either
little
2 or 3 per
boxes.
day. But that would mean 3 fights per day. You're almost always gonna have unlimited rage. Unless we're like exploring a dungeon. And that might mean 3 rooms, right? In these sort of narrative big fights, you have so much. You can rage all the time.
Okay. So that's not really that necessary, but I can
Yeah,
keep up with
it'll be necessary when we go into a dungeon.
Okay.
It'll be less necessary when we're in the big narrative areas.
Rage! How bad?
Yes.
We need your emote.
We gotta hear it. Look,
Perfect.
good enough.
All right, you totally
okay.
hit. Who are you hitting?
15 plus
The
5.
boss.
She ran up to the boss guy.
You totally hit him.
Okay.
So you're gonna roll whatever you would have rolled, which in this case is d6 plus
3.
5 to hit, right? But the damage is plus 2 more. So you're rolling d6 plus 5
Oh, because
because
okay.
you're raged. So
Just
bracket
this.
plus 5 when raged. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. 7.
7 damage.
He's gotta be bloodied by now.
He is not.
What?
This guy gets up, starts, not fighting Shushar. You actually punch him or stab him or whatever, and he goes, which was probably some really cool thing he was going to say, but to you it just sounds like a fish.
I just giggle a little bit.
Like, fish.
In his face.
But now that you're this close to him, as much as you can appreciate, like, imagine there's like a Greco-Roman, like, and you're like, wow, that guy looks buff, and it looks so impressive, right? Mm-hmm. Imagine the line where you have to be a little impressed, but you're still looking at a fish, right? Mm-hmm. He is a ripped fish. He's like a buff fish.
Larry the Lobster.
Right. So you're like, I'm kind of impressed. This guy is ripped. So they are these tough, tight, physically specimen fish people. And he's taken 17 damage, and no, he's not bloody.
Damn.
These guys have some health.
Yeah.
So, my go now, right?
Yes.
I'm going to swoop in on him and hit him with some divine smite.
Cyrus. You are already in melee. You can absolutely smite away.
I'm smiting away.
I don't think you have level 2 spells yet, right?
No.
Okay, so you can level 1 smite.
So I got a searing smite at level 1 and a thunderous smite.
Those are spells.
Oh.
You can throw away a spell slot to, quote, smite.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's just a thing.
I'm tossing.
And then, to make things extra confusing, they created some spells for you, and they went ahead and they were jerks and named the spells smite.
Right.
So as a brand new player, it's actually more confusing than you think. Like, there are spells.
No?
There are spells you can cast which are specific smites.
Yes. Okay.
Or you can just add smite to any hit.
Carrie said smite away.
Smite away. Yeah.
You certainly
Carrie said
should
smite
smite.
I think we should smite
But you
away.
might want to do the generic smite. The generic smite's a lot of damage.
All right. Let's hit big boss guy with the
You
new-
mean the big boss guy or this guy?
No, the new boss.
You're going to have to fly away from these two combatants.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I got 50 feet flying.
That's fine. They're both going to take free attacks at you.
Yeah, you should have just stayed with those
I
two.
want to kill that guy.
Let Ren deal with
a
the boss
16
guy.
and an 8. The one hits you for 2 damage.
Alright, not gonna pull that.
So you take 2 damage just from the incidental damage that comes from you flying away from 2
He
enemies.
annoyed me for standing up.
All right. So this fish guy is like flexing like, and then a bird comes from behind him and hits him in the back with holy smite damage.
Oh.
Okay, roll your damage.
No. 6. That's what? Do I add anything to it?
You got a lot. You had 6 at least.
What's that?
Just reroll.
You add your stat of +4,
That one did.
and you add your proficiency bonus of +2.
Okay, so that's.
So you're getting 6 to your
12.
6. So you're 12.
Okay.
And a 12 still misses.
All right.
So you're like, I can deal with you, and he looks over his shoulder and he sees the glowing light of the smite, and you go, and just dodges it. So, when you smite as a spell, you cast one of your spells, it's as if you cast a spell, and now it's held on while you swing, and the next time you hit, you release it. When you smite the basic way, you just wait until you hit, and then you say, oh, I'm throwing smite in as well. So you never lose it. There's never a downside.
So smite's still chilling
So
there. until I finally
since you
swing.
missed, you did not consume one of your smite slots.
I'll be ready for him next time.
Okay, Garnet.
I
You
was
have 2 of them in your face.
Yep, I was looking at Scorching Ray or Agonazar or potentially Burning Hands. I think I might Burning Hands.
Yeah, you could definitely angle it both the guys in your face.
Yep, I think I'm gonna Burning Hands the
Okay.
2 in front of me.
Show it to us. Easy peasy. You can avoid Buppido. No problem. And you let it rip. As 3d6 damage. There's no roll. There's no test. It's just raw damage.
3d6. Boom, boom, boom. Do I have to? Is it 3 per one, or I gotta?
Yeah, compared to magic missiles is 3d4
Right.
plus 3, and you spread it around. This is 3d6 to every person in the space.
So I roll once and they both each just
You
take
both
that
just take it. The potential of this
Damn.
spell is to do 100 damage.
6.
So in this case, it did 12, which is bad, but it could have done, 18 to
18.
5 people.
Yeah.
This really has a high end potential. Who did we just burn? The one on Garnet just took what? What did we say it was? A 6?
6.
He's at 10 damage. And they have light sensitivity, so that fire
Ooh.
blinds
See,
them
I'm thinking fish
effectively.
people, fire. I want to use my fire to help dry them out.
They screech out and go, "Ah!" And they're going to have a disadvantage on their attack rolls for the round.
Yes.
So let's see who's marked by fire. This guy's marked by fire, and who else? The other one on Garnet. Okay.
One or on Bubbido.
Yeah, same thing. In my notes, I know who he is based on what position he was in. because we don't have numbered bases.
Yeah.
All right, others. Buppedo.
Yep.
One of them's in your face, swinging at you.
Not even worried about it. I'm gonna cast. Wait, this guy took a lot of damage and he took a lot of damage, right? But they still look pretty good shape.
Yes. When you say a lot, this guy's bloodied.
Oh, okay. Anyways, I'm going to assume that guy speaks Undercommon, and I am going to suggest that he breaks up the fight between his fellows.
They do speak Undercommon, and you're saying to the boss?
Yep, break up that fight between your people.
That's a fair suggestion. All right, let's do it.
He's got to make a wisdom save.
Okay.
And, I got the old +4
He
guy.
passes. However, this suggestion is reasonable enough that he's not exactly resisting it. So I'm going to say, while he's not bound to the terms of the rule, he's going to do what you suggest.
Okay.
To him, that does seem like a reasonable idea. Unless there's some nitpicky part of the rule he doesn't want to follow. He didn't actually get affected by the spell, so he doesn't care. He hears the suggestion and goes, no, but I like the idea. All right, the confusion ones. Still have 3 of them confused.
Because
660. It would just waste his time.
or no, that was
Six is
Buppedo.
do nothing, and...
And the 10.
Yeah, let me double them.
10's probably act normally.
Either 10 or 1 is abnormal. Fusion.
Oh, they didn't retest.
Yeah, let's completely do that first, actually.
1 passes, so one of the 6s didn't happen.
Oh, never mind.
Alright. Yeah, 6 is do nothing, and 9 is act normally.
Alright, so the 1 acts normally. The one that's acting normally will take the other one who's still confused and slap him in the face. Be like, "Bah, bah, bah, bah." Doesn't that give him like another test to snap out of it?
Sounds like the jokes.
Natural 20. Alright, so however it plays out, the 2 that are still confused, 1 acts normally, slaps the other one in the face, and they break the confusion. So the effect is over. Because 1 failed, 1 expired, 1 got slapped out of it, and 1 rolled natural 20. So there's that. Alright, back to our baddies. Our brawler is going to look at you and take you as a real challenge.
What's his number?
Oh, no, he's going to listen to what James said. So he's going to move away from you guys. Actually, no, since they broke the confusion, they call out, he goes like, guys, stop fighting, and they go, we're on it, boss. And he goes, alright, I can fight. So now that the confusion's over, there's nothing for him to go deal with. And he is going to attack you, Ren, with his, he just gets ready to unarmed claw you. Miss.
Yay!
You cast depression on him, and now he's very sad. So much for his job. Alright, these 2 are going to come in, and this one is going to start dragging Shushar into the water to choke him to death. And this one is going to attack
How can he
Cyrus.
choke him to death if he can breathe underwater?
He's choking the other fish guy.
Stick his hands in the gills, yeah.
Oh,
He's going to go drown him.
He's going to blow air into his
Exactly.
gills underwater.
Sticks his fingers in his gills.
Confusing his cloaco vent.
Okay.
If we can breathe air, we can still be strangled on land. So just because he can breathe water doesn't mean he can't be strangled in the water. And a 10's not going to be great to hit Cyrus. All right, we'll find out if that hits. That's a 13 going to Cyrus. It might be a hit. If it's a hit, it is for 3 damage. And then who's next? These 2 are done. And then this guy, Cyrus. Everybody's basically on Cyrus now.
Oh. You better shake him off, Cyrus.
Yeah. Cyrus, you're now being just
All
surrounded
into you.
like a case of fleas that are swarming around you. Does a 13
Crack
hit
glass.
Yeah.
you? What's your armor class?
18.
That's with a shield and armor. You don't have shield and armor.
So what do I
Good.
look at?
It's a 10 base plus the armor class of whatever the armor we have is. Which you guys remember what the armor we have is? It's like leather armor.
With the
Yeah.
orange in there.
Yeah.
I think it's plus
Well, it's
2,
actually
so your
red,
base
but
is
yeah.
12. Then you
That's
add
the
your
red one.
dex, which is 2, which is 14.
That
I
is a
believe
good
your
one.
AC is a 14 right now.
Okay, good. So I'm 14.
So the 13 misses you,
Good.
and then a 14 hits you for 5 damage.
Okay.
And then a 17 hits you for 2 damage. So you take 7 damage.
Okay.
And now there are 3 Kuotoa surrounding you, stabbing you. Okay?
Okay.
And then the one on Garnet has disadvantage. He takes, 14 or
dang,
17.
yep.
Still hits for 3.
Both.
Basically.
3?
Yeah.
Flip these things around.
And now this one on Buppido takes a 14 to hit Buppido. Does that hit Buppido? What's his AC?
He is 15. Miss
he
Bob
misses.
Wood.
All right, top of the round.
Oh, it's the top of the round to you.
Ren. We gotta start knocking out some of these weaker guys. Get them off the list.
I
Ren,
try.
you're up.
I try.
Okay.
Ren, you're up.
Yep.
Sorry, I was testing that. I don't know if it's really very
100
well.
tests. It's all about how much they bounce.
Boing.
Right.
Just bounce it across the table.
It's one bounce at the floor,
Okay. Where am I at? I'm still at the.
You're at
priest.
the boss guy.
I'm gonna hit him again.
All right.
She's enraged, right?
So,
Mhm.
This guy. Yep. That'd be 14.
Hit.
Yay. Okay. And 7 again.
He is taking 24 damage. And
Is
he's
he
still not bloodied.
Hey, that was a 6.
I have chocolate on my fingers, so alright, all weird.
Do you need to go wash your hands?
Nope. Alright, who else?
Is it my turn? Are you still testing that, or were you going?
No, I was testing it.
My bad. All right, so it's my go. I still have smite in hand. Cause
Yeah, you don't have smite in hand. You
Smarty
only
smite.
use it when you hit. So it never got used.
I'm saying I'm putting it back in there because I didn't use it the last time I tried it. Oh my god, I freaking rolled a 1. So I guess I'm not doing anything there. Still getting bit
Okay,
on.
sorry. I promise was a good
You're
Gem
doing
shell.
like a bird spin or
I'm just doing.
we don't know what
what
you're
I'm
doing.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you can do with your bonus action?
What's a bonus action?
There's a thing called a bonus action. Some of your spells and abilities, instead of taking your main action, take a bonus.
Where would I see that at?
I don't know your abilities. So
Is it
maybe
on
you
the
don't.
table?
I got Cure Wound, Thunder Smite, Bless, Searing Smite, and Protect from Evil and Sanctuary.
In the future, Bless is fantastic. It raises everyone's attack rolls
Mm.
for the whole fight, and you can put on a bunch of people. You can bless the whole party.
Bless your face off. Well, maybe
Yeah.
that's my bonus action. Then, huh?
I don't think it's a bonus action. I think it's an action. All right, Garnet.
So you get this bonus.
Yep. Oh, let's go with Scorching Ray this time. Woo! Let's see. Let me mark off a magic missile from earlier, and I'll do Scorching Ray.
Is that the second level spell?
Yes.
Okay, how does it work?
I don't know.
I will look it up.
Yeah, most of those first ones I did were below, like 13.
Aren't I supposed to be rolling for that something? Tides of
Yes,
Chaos?
you are. You're supposed to be rolling a d20 every time
Every
you cast
time
a
I
spell,
roll.
and you have the thing that you can take advantage on something and give me the token. But you manage all that. I don't manage it. If you
The
never
Font
do
of
it,
Magic
it'll never
is
happen.
the token.
Yes, Font of Magic.
4 sorcery points.
The sorcery points are something you do during short rests when you have a little breather. You can convert sorcery points into other things.
See, and I also have meta magic, but I don't exactly need to use it right this second because fire apparently does damage to them. Because the whole time I was thinking fire.
You create 3 rays of fire and hurl them at targets within range.
Okay, how
you
about-
can hurl them at one target or several
How about
targets.
Agonizar Scourger then? Because that's just one line.
Well, give me a moment while I look up that spell then.
Lauren, do you need a refresher?
Oh, no.
I would.
Josh needs one.
Sure thing.
Can you
I'll
read
take
this?
Lauren's.
Nice. You hand me Josh's.
Yeah.
Do, shake it.
It has a different name,
That's
or it's not in this book.
Has a different name.
These are the special edition Christmas tree ones.
It's cold in.
You need to put a note in your list wherever your list is, wherever you're reading that word
Yeah.
from what its source is. Because its source is not the player's handbook. But I'll look it up on D&D Beyond. What's it called? How do you spell it?
Agonizar.
Is it 2 G's?
1G, 2 Z's. Range area 30 feet, instantaneous.
Where are you getting this? Oh, Agonizars.
Yeah. A line of roaring flame 30 feet long and 5 feet wide emanates from you in a direction you choose. Each creature in a line must make a dex saving throw. Creature takes 3d8 fire damage
This is
on a
perfect.
failed save.
This is perfect. Do you have one of those little
Or half
fire beams?
half as much damage on a successful one. No,
You don't have the spell beam?
no. But
James,
I
is there a way we
mean,
can get a fire beam very quickly?
30 feet.
Do very quickly.
Because this is an AoE. This is not a single target. This is a 5 foot
It's over
wide
here.
beam.
Got a
I
fire beam
mean,
going right there.
yeah. I mean, it's almost like that fire line on our spells,
That's
but
exactly what it is.
like 30 feet of it.
That's exactly what that thing is. 30 feet
Yeah.
long. That's what the spell is. So if you can draw that line and hit 5, 6 things, you can hit them all.
I can hit those 3.
But how far is 30 feet? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You can hit all of these
All
guys.
4 of them.
But it might burn the bird. But the bird's up in the air.
That's right. The bird's
So if
in
you
there.
stand off the map right
I'll
there,
scooch over.
you hit all 4 of these targets.
There you go.
Roll it. 3d8
I gotta-
fire. You roll the 3d8 fire. They roll the dex saves. The first guy passes. The second guy passes. The third guy fails. And the fourth guy fails. So the
So
front two, ironically,
Take half of the
yeah,
3d8.
so roll a 3d8.
There's the third one. Okay.
For real.
4, 5, 7.
You roll 3d8 and got a 7.
Yeah.
That sucks.
I know. 4, 1, 2.
Ugh.
It
Well,
only
it does
takes
kill the
half.
one in your face.
Wah.
It hurts the other one for 4 damage. And it does 7 to the boss, who's now 31 damage, who is now still not bloody. And it does 7 to this guy, which is the one that originally hit Cirrus.
Dang, I thought I
It
was
kills
gonna
him
roll
too.
them all for each one individually.
No. it's
4,
3d8.
5, 3 would be the second guy.
What do you mean? Oh. So that fire ray.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
30 feet.
long? Yeah.
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 For real.
Thank you.
Chicken.
Wow, it tastes way smokier.
Well, it was sitting there the whole time. You made me go find the
Oh.
fire effect.
That's funny. So it killed 2, and it burned 2.
Which one? Did you knock the? Was it the last guy it killed?
Yeah, the
Because he
big buff
totally
guy.
failed.
Well,
But he
he'd
was
also,
already-
exactly. He'd already been hurt. So it killed the one in your face, and it
face.
killed the one at the very end. And it burned the boss, and it burned the one above it.
Cool. So now they're at disadvantage.
Yes, because they got affected by light.
Light and fire. Yep. I like it.
All right, Garnet's up. Is Buppado's turn. Can you just read me his regular attack? His regular attack.
Oh,
Signature attack, Sacred Flame.
You can Sacred Flame. You want to Sacred Flame or do something
Yeah,
else?
we got the big guy. Yep.
You want to go for the big guy, not the guy in your face?
Nope, going for the big guy. Want to break the morale.
He passes.
Son of a biscuit.
Well, no, you're at a 10 plus 4. No, he fails by 1. All right, so it's D8.
Yep.
4 damage.
Oh, I see how it is.
The big guy is bloody.
Mmm.
Dun dun dun.
Come on, Lauren. There's still some in there. Finish this.
Okay.
I know it's a little watery, but it's good shit. I'm gonna dump your cube out.
In the
A Christmas
distance,
tree cube.
more fish people are coming.
Dump it out.
Oh.
I'll put him over here. No, I'll put him over here.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we should almost move those two that
It'll work
way.
itself
But
out.
yeah.
All right, couple of those done. The confused ones are gone. It is the bad guy's turn. The special guy attacks Lauren again, pointlessly. He now has disadvantage. The first attack becomes a... It's a +5. Oh, +6 to hit. Does a 17 hits you? Even with
Damn.
disadvantage, he hits you, and then he misses. So 1 hit hits you for D6 plus 2, 6 damage, Lauren. But you're enraged, so you only take 3. So the boss does a whopping 3 damage, and he's quickly feeling this fight is turning against him because 3 of his guys just got killed. None of you guys are really that hurt, and he's being very ineffective himself. To attack the Birdman. Ready for this, Harvey Birdman?
Yes.
Hit for a 6 and a 5. That is a real round of damage. They're at least going to take the chicken down.
I got 11 left.
All right, you're still flying. You have been stabbed, bit, stabbed, speared, netted, harpooned, stabbed again. So you're in the thick of it. These last two are going to run after the wizard. Wizard!
Into the thick of it.
They don't have enough range to get to you, but they run over to you. Actually, one will stay there and throw a spear at you, and one will run all the way to you. The one that throws a spear at you, almost crits. 6 damage, Garnet.
I think I need to... I don't have a healing potion, do I?
No, you do not. And the one attacking Puppeto critically fails.
You said I took 6?
Yeah. And then the other risk is the one on Shushar is killing Shushar. Shushar is at 3 out of 4 notches. So someone needs to save him or he's going to be killed.
How do we save him?
Just punch this guy. Just get him off
save him.
Shushar.
Distract him.
Yeah, get the guy off Shushar. Shushar's apparently vow of celibacy, not celibacy, pacifism is so strong he's not even defending himself from being murdered. He refuses to even like kick the guy or get away. He's just like
If we can get him up, he has healing abilities.
he has healing, yeah.
He can also revive if somebody dies.
Okay. Maybe that's a higher level.
You touch a creature that has died in the last
What's the
minute,
level cap on it? Those all have level requirements.
level 2.
No level 2 resurrection.
Oh, there we go. This one does.
All right, Ryan.
He's extra fishy.
Okay. Thank you.
That is fishy.
Can I try to talk to
Level
the
5.
leader again then?
You don't speak their language.
Undercommon?
Oh yes, yes. You can yell at him in
Oh.
Undercommon. Yes, you
no,
can.
actually, do we all speak that? 'Cause
No.
Actually,
No,
mine just says common and no.
you do not speak Undercommon.
I thought I did, but maybe that was my other character.
Yeah, your other character might have.
Okay.
Tongues can do it, and the mental spores can do it, but he's not in your mental link.
Okay.
So yeah, you have no way to communicate with a fishman in a fight.
Okay.
You just see him going. Rah, 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 rah.
Come at me, bruh.
Alright, I'm gonna use my greatsword against the leader again.
Who's got vines?
You're not gonna go save Shushar?
No.
Oh, that's my friends die. All right, I punched the bad guy.
Yeah.
Go suplex him.
We'll get him.
Suplex him.
We'll get him better.
Okay.
You're enraged.
So, okay, well.
So what do you do?
Go to the guy that
So you
sent
break
me.
melee. The bad guy's gonna get an extra attack against you, but he still has disadvantage. He misses wildly. So he's like, "Ah!" swing at the sky. And you run over and you attack this guy. Now, you have a thing called reckless attack, if you remember, which is if it's important and you need to hit, you can take advantage on any attack ever. But your aggression will lower your defenses for the round, and they'll get advantage too. But because you're having damage, you don't care if they hit you, and you really want to make sure you hit. So keep that in mind. That's something you can always elect to do.
Okay.
So you can roll your attack roll a second time to get advantage. You just have to tell me you're reckless attacking.
Okay. Yeah, then I guess I will reckless attack.
Do it.
Do I need to count the roll that I did earlier before? I was
We're gonna
reckless?
say that you rolled it, and that's why you want a reckless attack.
Okay.
That's much better. With your plus 5, 6, whatever, that hits it,
Yeah.
because these guys only have 13 AC.
Okay.
The
So
regular
then,
ones.
is that's just 2 on the 20? It's not 2 when I attack. Like it's
2
damage?
on the 20.
It's
I'm not sure
not.
what you mean.
It's not advantage on damage.
No, it's not advantage on damage. It just lets you hit. Because you're already usually dealing a lot of damage. You just need a way to hit.
Okay.
That helps you hit.
Ooh. Okay, so 5 plus 5 is.
Yeah, 10 damage. You just bisect him. Ah! He's not paying attention. He's choking Shushar, and you just completely hack into him, and he just goes, "Ah, ah, ah." And he says something in this gurgling, bubbling sound as like blood is filling in his lungs. And he goes, "Blah." And you go, was that a slur? their word for go fuck yourself is the same thing as their word for dying. So, right. I think that guy just called my mother something. So you've taken him out and you've saved Shushar.
Woo,
Is he in the
damn.
fight now?
Just one
He
hit?
will never be in a fight.
Shit.
He is a hardcore pacifist to an extreme. He will never
his fighting
fight.
tactics are healing, so maybe he is.
He
loving
could
on
heal during the fight. Yes, when we get to the others round, he could.
Can he
heal.
come over and heal me?
Like to say, so we need it, so it's happening.
I need some
He's not
healing.
going to enter the fray in order to heal. He would heal himself or heal someone not in the fight. He's not
Can
going to
I
like.
disengage?
He's not going to wade through swords to try and heal someone unless it's to save their life.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Here we go.
All right, so that's Ren, Cyrus.
Is that seriously a 1 again? No, it's a 19. Thank
Okay,
you,
that's better.
Lord.
19 hits. Who are you
Oh,
hitting?
does
The
it
boss
now?
guy or
Yeah,
the
we're
one
gonna
man?
go with the boss guy, and I'm gonna
All
use
right.
my smite.
All right, so you're going to attack with whatever the dice you would have rolled is, which I think is D6 plus, I think in your case, 5.
D6, and then add a 5 to it.
And then you're going to add 2d8 from your smite. Is it 2d8 or 1d8? Pretty sure smiting is 2d8 per level.
3 if you use second level.
So all that?
All
Yep.
that is a damage.
Huzzah! A
Ooh.
7,
So
a 5,
again,
and a 2.
Your sword did 2, and your smite did 13. Like, that's adding the smite is radically raising the damage.
So we got
So 7, 5, and
Two.
2 is 14, plus your strength is another 4.
strength.
So
yeah,
18
plus 4.
damage.
18 damage.
So that seriously hurts him. Fast.
Alright, Sriracha.
You mean Garnet?
Yeah.
Sriracha and Garnet.
They're both red.
You right.
No problem.
It's my turn.
Mm-hmm.
Just kill them.
I wish I could. I'm not rolling quite so well.
There's a new dice right there.
What is burning hands damage?
As your spells get bigger, you'll eventually get so many dice, you can't roll poorly.
I'll do burning hands on the guy in my face.
It can hit both of them still.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Because it's a cone. I thought it was a touch.
No.
Okay.
You
Yep.
roast them. 3d6.
3D.
And that is, I believe, your third first level spell, and you've cast 1 second level spell.
1, 2, 3.
Because you're marking off your little spell slots, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
4, 6, 8.
8 kills the one in your face. And then who is the other one?
This bigger. They can do
The bigger guy on Buppido? Or
Oh.
that you said was on me too?
Had he ever been hit before?
like a magic missile or something.
But that was the yeah
That-
yeah
the
yeah.
scorching ray.
This guy did. He did get hit by the magic missile.
And
That and the scorching ray. Or Agonazars.
No, the Agonazars killed the guy on you, killed the guy here, hit him, and he was the other one.
yeah,
They take
Yeah,
half
they were-
damage on a
I
save.
understand that. No, I
they
just
were in that line. Yep.
I must have either not marked it or I've already killed off the guy that was hurt by it. Either way.
I got numbers for next round.
So he's dead. All right. Others. Should Buppido heal himself? I mean, should Shushar heal himself?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should probably do
All right. He's just like.
If he's not going to heal anyone else, he should heal
Not
himself.
during the fight. He
Well,
heals
he's
himself.
right over there next to Red. Does she need healing?
No.
No.
So what
All right. What
what's he healing
does
himself
what does
for?
Buppido do?
He's gonna do the sacred flame again to this regular dude right in front of him.
Regular dude fails. Takes D8. You want to roll it?
Yep. I got my own this. I got my own.
What are those? Just regular quartz gems?
This is cracked glass. I'm a high
That's
roller
not
over
very
here.
cracky.
In the
I
future,
think
James,
that's
for
solid.
everybody, you know, if you're rolling a sacred flame with a damage and a skill test, even though it's their save, you can go ahead and roll me the D20 and the D8, and then just tell me what his dex save is for the sacred
Okay.
flame, and then I'll just apply his dex. But that way, you're still because it's
Missed
your pace.
and a hit.
Yeah, we know that he failed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a whopping 1 point damage.
No. Okay. Well, there you go.
Stranger, this drow guy's been doing absolutely nothing
Yeah, he's
this
doing nothing.
whole time.
Yep,
I'm
yep.
assuming he has a weapon and
He's not doing anything.
He's protecting Stool.
He's not doing anything. Yeah.
Does
I
absolutely
already
nothing.
asked.
Correct.
All right.
He's not helping.
Luckily, my character ain't there.
He is watching the fight.
Correct this situation.
Why is it?
He's protecting, making sure no one comes at Stool.
He is protecting his stool.
Yes.
Can I ask him why?
You should. Between fights, absolutely. Now, he's made flippant comments before, like, well, I don't really care what happens.
Okay.
But yes, he's not made it clear that he's made it clear enough that he doesn't really care if you die. He's going to help the party travel. He's guiding you guys to the Underdark. He wants to get Neverlight Grove. If the fight went south, he'd just run off.
Okay.
So, yes, he has made it clear he doesn't really care. So if you go, you weren't helping, he'd be like, you're right. I want to know if you guys could take it.
Jerk, you too.
I can still, you know what? I still can do a small amount of movement, right?
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to move behind. I will gladly take the opportunity to get hit, but I will force these guys into the fight.
Sure.
We can't kill Stool or we can't
I
communicate.
don't care.
James is making Bubba don't care. That's fine.
Yeah.
Moving on. Any others? No, there's no other others. Okay. The special bag at the top of the round starts acting like he wants to flee. And who's going to stop him from fleeing? You.
Okay.
So as he runs this way, northwesterly, you get a free attack against him.
Smooth.
So make a free attack.
What am I rolling?
D20.
D20.
He's smiting.
Does it hit? All right.
Yeah,
So in the flurry, he just scoots away. And he's yelling something like, back up, back up! And he's running this way. Okay? The other guys will start to run as well. Actually, no, if they're not hurt, they're not going to run. These two on you. Miss. Maybe they should be running.
No, that was a 2.
They'll back up and try to like regroup. So they're going to try and regroup their line. This guy attacked the bird as well. Might as well, he's right there. You've already used your react misses as well. And he goes and gets in line. So they've created like a new line. Dead. He's surrounded. He will attack Guardian.
Oh my
Actually,
goodness.
your point was to bait him. All right, he'll go after him. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Hits. All right. 4 damage to Sarah.
Who has Saurus?
He's taking one.
Woo!
Just want him to die now because he was
No,
rude.
just let him take hits instead of, let him chew up some hits.
Let him shoot some hits. Exactly. At 5th level, he gets really strong. So, but your point was, if Sarth is going to take hits, of course he's going to cast his spells and kill that guy. So that's what you want. You want Sarth in the fight. So as these guys create a line, this other pile of other fishmen are getting closer and closer.
Can we give them numbers?
And then they all start yelling at each other. Perception checks.
Can you?
Perception checks.
Perception. 8. Nope. I don't perceive anything.
6. Nope.
Nothing. Birdman, you're quite distracted.
Yes.
Roll a d20 for perception.
19. Oh, wait.
Oh,
Mine's a 20.
19 is.
A 20. Very nice.
You're going to perceive it.
8.
You know something is
Something's happening.
creeping through the mushrooms.
You point out this other patrol to Shushar, and Shushar is there, and he goes, "Arr, arr, arr." But she goes, "Mind spores, Shushar, mind spores." Shushar goes, "Plupopin, Plupopin," which is the name
through
of.
our minds now?
Yes, he says Plupopin, and you're like, "You're supposed to be speaking English."
Oh.
That is English. Plupopin. What the hell does Plupopin mean?
I don't think I wrote that down.
He's like, I told you yesterday. There's Archpriest Plupopin. All right. Ren's turn. What do you want to do?
Can start moving this way.
You
You
want
said
to-
those 4 are...
They've created a line.
Can I take her action?
This guy's still here. These 4 have made a line. And
Can I
everybody
go
else can get-
flank them and.
I'm gonna go for the guy that's...
This guy?
outside the LC, yeah.
Wow. You hit him. Go for it. Roll it. A 1 is a miss. Do you do your reckless attack? You remember that reckless attack? So you get 2 attack rolls?
How many of those do I get? though?
Infinite.
Oh.
It's like a modal. You just toggle that I'd like to attack twice and let them attack twice. Because you're absorbing the damage through damage reduction.
Yeah.
So it's usually always worth it. Did you roll 2 ones?
It's a 4.
Not good
But
enough.
it'd be a 9.
It's almost good enough. But you miss.
Can I reckless attack my reckless attack?
No. Give them triple attacks? No.
Does she have a bonus action?
Cyrus the Virus. I think Rage is her only bonus action.
8.
8? What? An 8 what?
That was my attack. Right?
You attack someone for 8? Who do you attack?
Oh, who are we gonna do?
Oh,
it for
can
now?
he? Oh, sorry.
If you go in the middle, multiple can attack you, but if you come from the edge, only one of them can attack you at a time.
Actually, let me run over there and retreat back with
Okay, you create your line.
that guy back there. And
Okay.
attack
You-
this dude that's attacking.
Okay.
Hit him with
the
your
attacker.
talons.
Ah!
You attack the attacker attacking.
Attacking the attacker.
dress like
with
a
the
dude.
attack.
Talon smite.
You dress like a dude, pretending to be another dude.
That's it. Playing another dude.
Alright, do it.
Alright, so.
Make your attack roll.
Hurrah! 6.
Hey, but you already rolled it. Technically, it was an 8.
Oh, it wouldn't matter either way. Huh?
Well, 8 would hit. This is not how much.
yeah.
roll.
8
and
hits.
it'd be plus 6.
Oh, plus 6, so 14?
What was that roll? 6?
Yeah, 6.
Even that is only 1 away from hitting. You hit on 7s.
Okay.
So your 8 would have hit.
Okay.
So why'd you re-roll the 8? Just being silly?
8. Alright, so do I do this, add this, or no?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
So
14.
you do hit.
14.
We're going to give it to you.
Great.
'Cause you
And then
re-rolled.
I'm using a d4 plus 4.
Your claws, yeah.
Yeah, my claws. Santee claws. Ooh. I don't have a longsword, right?
You have a 75% chance of killing him with this claw attack. Don't roll a 1.
I rolled a 1.
Yes! You
Plus-
found it.
A
Grr.
1 plus a 4, right? I got the plus 4 slashing then?
Yeah, you take him to 17 out of 18 life. And you claw him. Rah, do you want to lift him up in the air?
Can I do...
You want to add smite?
No, not smite. But I have a weapon fighting. I can re-roll a 1 or a 2 on damage dice. with
Oh, shit.
melee.
Oh, yeah, you should always be re-rolling your 1s on your damage.
Okay, let me re-roll.
Well, then you had an 89% chance of succeeding, because you'll even re-roll the 1 time.
I rolled a 1 again.
Damn it! There's
I
only,
did it again!
there was only a 1/16 chance of you not killing him.
What if I had smite to it?
Then he explodes. Do you want to smite him?
Yeah, let's explode him, just for the argument's sake.
You pick him up with your claws, and he's like,
I'm
I'm
ripping
barely alive! And
ripping
then you
him in
pulse
two.
the radiant energy in,
There we
and it
go.
just goes into him, and
That's it. I want
he just...
Because
you-
I never used that other one. So
You microwave the fish stick.
There we go. He is nuked.
Your radiant light microwaves the fish stick, and he
Yeah.
explodes.
So he's dead.
And showers gore all around the party.
So him dead?
He's dead.
Is he going to the next one?
You don't need to mark them.
Just to
Yeah, we do.
kill
Okay.
sardine over there.
Alright, it's Garnet.
Yep.
They have created a line, and Shushar has told you guys, plop up in, plop up in.
Are these guys looking hostile still? Is Shushar, what's going on? Or
He's like, in just a moment, I think this fight will take care of itself.
okay, that's good news to hear. Something in the positive. So should we continue attacking these guys?
Sure.
Sure.
Don't spend resources.
Don't spend resources. So like
shoot a fireball.
use a cantrip.
There you go.
So mage hand, what does that do?
That tickles people from 20 feet away.
Okay, so nothing.
The best use of Mage Hand is if you're locked in a cage and you can see the keys on the wall, because that makes sense. You can like levitate the keys off the wall and flip them to the bars.
Then we'll just
With
go
your
with a
mage
little
tickle.
firebolt.
Social situations when they're like at a table eating and you go, you Mage Hand them under the table and they jump. Who the hell is that?
Okay.
That's what Mage
firebolt.
Hand's for. Yeah, roll it. D20, D10? Is Firebolt D10?
Well, I got
D8?
12. Firebolt's a D10.
It hits for sure.
We'll use that as a 10. 6.
Alright, you hit him. One of them takes 6 damage, gets re-blinded. So 2 out of 4 of the remaining guys have their eyes blinded. But as the wall of this other Kuato raiding party comes up behind them, they just start stabbing him in the ribs and kill him. And they're just
Oh, shit.
they just mercilessly do what they did to you. Whereas your guys just ran right at you with spear throws. They do the same thing. They come up behind him. It's just a fish on fish skewer fest. And because they're distracted by the fight with you guys and they're already a little exhausted, you just watch. They just become chum. They just get chopped to pieces.
Cool.
And I've only got, 5 here? But there's about 15 people in this bigger party.
Okay.
So it's an even bigger group.
All right.
So yeah, as Shushar was saying, he's like, I have sworn off violence, but sometimes it is still nice to see in others.
Of course, it's always good to spectate it, not be a part of
Right.
it. Glad
The world is violent whether I commit or not. And they just slaughter the last remaining guys. And then Plupupine approaches. He is the archpriest himself.
Boom.
Which of these guys? We don't have the priest looking one. There's like an old man, lizard man. So if we ever find that, there, yeah, that could work.
He's
So
the
this
other
is-
one I didn't grab.
So this is Plupupine. Hail! And he actually sees Shushar, and Shushar goes, Plupupine! And they begin doing this weird gurgle talk. So, as Shushar and Plupupine discuss in their bubble tongue, Shushar then explains to you guys. He goes, he will give us refuge.
Not refuse.
Not refuse. And you see the other men just taking the bodies and just shoving them in the water. They just, bye. Here you go.
Sending them down the river.
This is the upside of being on the shore of the Dark Lake. Nah, I'm good.
Down the river.
You guys want chocolate
I'll
malt?
try just a little bit. I've never had chocolate.
What?
This is real beer, not a malt beer.
No, that's real beer.
Oh, I said chocolate malt, but maybe I
You
don't
did
mean
say
malt.
chocolate malt.
You
To
just
me,
want
malt
the
is
chocolate
just.
malt.
No, I just-
Yep.
I didn't think that word was an insult. Hey, Chef Hunter's here. He says it's shanking time.
Yes, shake away.
So,
Oh, shanking's done. Haha, shanks a lot.
so they explain to you things you already know because you've overheard the conversation with James. But this is when your characters get filled in.
Okay.
Plupupine says, when you left Shushar, things are quite a bit different, and they've gone quite downhill. So even though we threw you out of town for a reason, it's actually strangely nice to see a familiar face. And he's translating all this through the telepathy in the conversation. He says, we have a new upstart religion. And then Shushar goes, well, I know exactly what that's like, because Shushar had an upstart religion, which is why he got thrown out of town. He goes, but this one is not like your rebellion. He puts in air quotes. He's like, you were trying to change the system. This new religion is trying to destroy the system. He's like, it's my own daughter, Blooplipod. And he goes, oh, I'm so sorry to hear this. And he goes, you think she could be brought back to the fray? And he says, no, I've given up all hope for her.
That sucks.
But he explains that this other raiding party worked for the other church. They follow Blooplipod, and they're worshipping a new Deep Father. But they're not part of the same group. So to you, it's like these fish and these fish look identical. They're not wearing different colored robes. They're not using different
well,
things,
that's-
weapons. They're just more of the same fish. And so you're like, oh, okay, so we're supposed to trust these fish, not those fish. And there's no way to tell them apart. But the archpriest
Sounds
is
kinda fishy
He
to
looks-
me.
Yeah, very fishy.
Ah.
But the archpriest is easy to tell because he has a big staff and he's unique enough that you would recognize Plupupine in the future.
Okay.
And he goes, come to my temple and we will discuss.
All right, let's go.
All right.
I found the note.
He leads you up a little path into the city of Sloobludop. Sloobludop.
Shoot the poop.
And he tries to give you a quick recap of things you need to know. Here is your quick recap of things you need to know. Okay? This is the prominent Kuotoa printout page. Alright? This will remind you of the names Plupupine, which is the archpriest, Blooplipod, which is his daughter, who's become
do
the
you
bad
spell
guy.
that?
Yeah, exactly. And then they each have their own head priests, which the names are here if that comes up. Glugugog and Klibdalagut. And they worship the two competing gods of the ocean. The Sea Mother, who they've always worshipped, Blibdulpulp, And now the new Deep Father, Limugugun.
We don't really have a girl.
So if you need a cheat sheet, a girl fish?
Yeah.
No. But if we make a 10-pack warband, we'll do it specifically to this. It'll be great. I'm going to tell Damien, look, dude, we really need some new art.
You need a lot of females.
We need a
yes.
female Kuotawa
Females
and
of
a male
everything.
Kuotawa. It's like, they're going to
This
look the
one looks a
same.
little feminine.
Just
But
put
I
some
guess it's
makeup
that
on.
one too.
Okay.
Blood and lipstick.
So,
A lot more females.
Fake eyelashes and stick them on.
James, back
So
to
they're
you.
women.
Like the
On a
Volkswagen
random
Bugs
day,
little
not particularly
eyelashes.
different than the other few days. It's been about 3 or 4, maybe 4 days since that conversation when you were
Okay.
told you could now move about the
Yeah.
town correctly. This is the first major commotion that's happened in those 4 days. So, it's like business as usual for a few days. You're trying to learn a lot of things. And we could talk briefly about what you do during those 4 days and who you communicate with and who you meet and what you do. And then if you want to do that really quick, let's do that. But otherwise, at the end of that few days, there's suddenly a big disturbance.
Okay.
And so you ask, like, what's going on? And they
Yeah.
go, parade in town. Or they say some stupid word that doesn't mean much to you. Did you say you do speak Undercommon?
Yeah.
Okay. So they use the word parade, meaning, a procession of people. And as you look out, you see the archpriest, Plupupin, with a bunch of his own soldiers guiding this pile of denizens. And immediately, like, the PTSD flashback is just like your group, where
Yeah.
there was 8 of you, or let's say 6 of you made it here
Right.
healthy, and they marched you guys in and gave you living quarters.
Yep.
And then one by one, they just got picked apart and thrown into the pit.
Sure.
So you're just like, oh no, this is gonna happen again.
Well, not if I have anything to do with it.
Yeah. So they march this group up, and they're avoiding the temple, right? Like that's
Sure.
the big temple, and then this is that little new weird temple, and
Yep.
they go that way. They go on the outskirts, so they kind of avoid Blaplapad's main group.
Yep.
And they march you up the side, and they take you to this landing area where your little prison room is. And you've also learned the reason the prison room was available is because the Kuoto have always captured people and put them in the prison. But now that this new upstart religion is there, they just sacrifice everyone.
Right.
So the prisoners that would have been
They don't
here,
stay very long.
they're just gone. So that's why we had a fresh sheets. We have fresh
Very
rooms.
transient.
And so they get initially marched over to the archpriest's little hut, and then you can come in at any time and interject yourself into the conversation.
I'm going to because
Yeah.
I know I got to save these people's lives.
Absolutely. And then, but what you're hearing as you walk up is, yes, you're welcome into our city, and we really want to talk to you about what we can do here. And then you're all welcome to stay in the jail quarters.
Not
So
at all.
they're not only doing a similar thing to what happened to you. There's like these literal parallels.
Sure.
You guys came in, you were welcomed in, and then you were assigned to the jail quarters. Okay. So you walk up. So all your people can go into that little hut.
Sure. Oh my God.
Jabba, the little hut. That's the big hut.
I thought
The little big hut.
The NPCs we don't need to deal with. We can go ahead and put in the big hut. No. We want all our people in the little hut.
Actually, the little one. Okay.
And go ahead and put Sheriff and Sareth, and put Bupido in the little hut, in the big hut. Sorry, God, I can't. There's only 2.
We need to give everybody
The
nicknames
non-essentials
now.
will go in the big hut, but you need
Gotta go
Shushar
on
with
the
you,
ground.
and you need Stool with you, so you can till up. Actually, you don't need Stool with you. Don't take Stool because he's gonna cast tongues.
If he's
Okay.
close enough.
Right, but it's only 30 feet. So there you go. Shushar needs to go with you
sure.
because he comes with tongues.
You got it.
All right. So, as you guys are walking in, describe yourself, James.
A female wood elf. So she's a little taller than the average elf. Coppery brownish skin, dark brown hair, green eyes. Definitely looks like she's one with the woods and looks really out of place here in the in the dark fish village.
Yeah.
Tree lady.
It has a glowing holy symbol of Chlorian,
Tree
which none of
hugger.
you are elves, so it doesn't matter, but she's got a glowing, like, silvery moon in her forehead.
Because you're religious as a paladin, you would at least immediately recognize the traits and symbols of each of the major gods. So at the very least, you recognize his god. You're aware of what his god is.
I want like nice symbol, nice face tattoo.
Sick tat.
Face tattoo.
You got a little something. No, you got it. You got it. Never
She
mind.
smiles and says, I always shine with Chlorian's light.
That's what she said.
Oh.
This motley crew that comes up that you're observing would look a lot more confusing if you hadn't just been in a similar procession. So you kind of intrinsically understand where there's going to be some people traveling, and they're going to have some extra Underdark denizens as their guides, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So the motley crew looks less weird, but it's still a strange mix of people.
Yeah.
You have a surface human, right? You have a deep gnome,
Nope, rock.
rock gnome, and you have an Aarakocra.
Right.
And then accompanying with them is a actual drow and a plant, like a Groot.
Yep.
It's like a 1 foot tall Groot. So even among weird, motley, underdark denizens, they're on the outer edge of weird.
Sure.
So, and a fishman.
Yep.
Their own fishman. All right. So you introduce yourself and inject yourself into the conversation, and Plupupine goes and calls you forward.
Yeah.
And he casts tongues.
Before he casts tongues, I'm going to say in Surface Common, be wary. This is a dangerous place.
All right.
So he casts tongues. And he goes, yeah, close the door. And he has some like advocates and monitors and stuff, and so the other person that's right there is a Plupupine's son. His
Okay.
name's Glooglugog. And he goes, this is Glooglugog, my son. He's my high priest. And then he goes, okay, can you close the door and leave us? And Glooglugog, does that thing where he goes to close the door, but stay inside. And Plupupine goes, no, I actually want to just treat with them. And he has that protest, like, but there's security issues. And he goes, we'll be fine. And so he doesn't look insulted, but it creates the immediate feeling of seriousness.
Sure.
Like, even his son, even his high priest, is asked to leave the room. And he closes the door and he acknowledges the wishes. And so you're in a room treating with Plupupine, the high priest, with your weird posse. But you've left the non-players apart.
Does he still have that whip with him? The guide? City
James's guide is not here.
Okay.
James's guide would be wherever,
So
and
the
you have
guide
some way
brought
to
him back
contact him.
in.
Sure.
Glugugog could even possibly be your guide, but it makes less sense because it's the high priest.
Okay.
So he says, recently, he kind of relays the same story. We've been split factions, and what we're concerned about is that my daughter, Bliplupod, is going to see you outsiders as our next offering, and she's going to try to sacrifice all of you. He just comes out and said it.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna try to sacrifice all you guys.
Well, what the hell did we just walk into?
So they
Shushar didn't
killed
tell
much
us
of my
that.
party except for my guide, who I'm sure is probably next. And very well might already be dead.
So he says, we need a plan. I want your help overthrowing this upstart religion.
Still listening.
I have a plan. I have thought of this for at least 25 minutes. She wants to take you all to the altar and sacrifice you. But what if, instead, our Church of the Sea Mother, we take you to the altar and we sacrifice you? This will appease their god. They can't argue with that. We're going to be giving an offering all the same. But it will be a trick. And instead of being sacrificed, we'll spring a trap.
That's a good plan, except for I have a much better plan.
Oh, okay.
Which is really nothing.
He's like, we'll call this plan number. Her god's offering is to murder outsiders. That's the only offering. But the Sea Mother, her offerings have always included giving up bits of food, or possibly bloodletting, or what they call it, like when you cough up, like an animal goes, and hacks up food. Regurgitating. That's like an honor among them. You go to the foot of the Sea Mother and you regurgitate your lunch. And that's like, great blessing. He's like, I agree, we should definitely do that.
I'm looking at the bird every time he says regurgitate. I look over at the bird's like, and see if he's.
I'm interested.
Tell me more about this regurgitation.
He can do it on command.
Tell me more about this.
He's
thing
like,
I did.
I agree
as a
that we
child.
definitely should do that, but lately they have not been like. That's exactly what we've always kind of done with outsiders, is we let them show their respect to the Sea Mother, and they haven't been accepting that, which is where this divide started. But I agree, it's still a great, important thing to do. He's like, so like we argued with you and your friend, and he acts like this is like a reward for him. He's like, just like I successfully negotiated not killing the last 2 of your troop, I will negotiate a parlay in 2 days' time. That way we at least have 48 hours before you get sacrificed. It'd be great.
I think we should leave it up to a group decision.
I don't want to talk because there's tongues in the air, so he can understand me. So.
Well, ask him to leave.
Ask him to leave.
Let's say, let's think it over as a group.
Can we secretly make James sniff the shrooms right now so that we can talk?
But the spore's not with you, so you can't even telecommunicate right now. Even you guys amongst each other can't right now.
I say so.
But I thought you said he was within 30.
Okay,
Yeah, he's only out. He's out the house, down the street, in the next building over.
Okay.
It's not 30. I mean, you're looking at the map and counting squares, but this is all a little scale shifted. Yeah.
Well, tell us more about your original plan. We'll call this OG plan. What was this trap you planned on springing?
I'll have to think long and hard, possibly pray, for how we'll do it.
What is your preferred final outcome? Like, to crush these people completely and destroy their temple? I mean, are you okay with the death of your daughter if she doesn't...
Because this has been my hesitation.
If she doesn't,
But she's too far gone. And he goes, and he says it really quiet. Had a vision. And then it's like, even though they're not there, you hear outside on the other side of the walls, had a vision. Okay. He's like, so I've tried to be delicate with the situation and try to redeem my own daughter. It can't be done. This dark god of the Deep Father has too much of a grip for her. He's like, she has to be killed.
Okay.
It's like, trap, though. Simple. We go up, and instead of killing you, I just kill her. So he's oversimplifying the spring of the trap.
Yeah. No, I don't know these people or their abilities. I'll kind of look around. They're slightly bloodied. I'm a little confused by the gnome with the sword as big as she is and the
Birds up.
She just has a short sword.
the bloody
Oh,
bird man.
yeah, I don't have
Oh,
my
you don't have your big
Nobody
sword.
has any stuff.
Gotcha. And alright, yeah, I figure she's probably equipped as she needs to be. So, I say, well, I mean, can we discuss this amongst ourselves? I mean, we'll be putting our lives on the line for your city and your religion, which
He's like-
I believe is the honorable course. But I don't know these people. We'll need to,
He's like, well, this is where your plan zero comes in. To get the time we need to make this decision, we need an official reason to stop the immediate offering. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to march you down to the Temple of the Sea Goddess and do what you suggested and do an offering and bless you. And that way we can parlay.
Okay.
So you all agree that at least that needs to be done. And he calls out to his son. Glug, glug, glug! And the son comes in, yes, and he goes, "Proceed these people to the statue of the Sea Mother. I shall be immediately following, and we will bless them." And he goes, "Yes, Father!" And he like calls out some people, and they like bang a drum, and this procession of about 20 Kuatoa start walking over to the Sea Mother statue.
On the way, I'm gonna say we need to make a good or no, I don't want that. That'll come out wrong. To the high priest, I say though. Yeah, I don't need to say shit. People are gonna notice. We got a procession.
And your guide's around, and those guys come too, and so they... Obviously, the other faction shows up.
Right,
They've
right.
got their 20 guys, and they're like, "Hey, what is this? We have outside to sacrifice him!" And everyone just starts screaming. But it's like when you're doing a thing and you don't wait for permission, you're just doing your
Right.
thing. They have to be the ones that come forward and interrupt the thing.
Right.
And it's like 20 on 20, and they don't interrupt the thing.
Right.
And so Pupupine gets in front of the statue and goes, "Ah, blah, 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 blah," and I think tongues expires in like 10 minutes, so
Something
it's
like
probably not working anymore. And he goes, "Ah, blah, 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 blah," and you're just thinking to yourself, like, I hope this is going well, because we don't know what the hell's happening. And there's 50 freaking fish people with spears. And he brings you up on like points. Come. And as you get up to the Sea Mother statue, he yells out her name. And then he basically like spits or like hawks a loogie right at the foot of the statue. Which in other religions is so like
Right.
blasphemous. But like the more blasphemous the better. Like, and I'm imagining a scenario where you guys are doing weirder and weirder things, and everybody's like, "Yeah, it's the best." And then someone like takes it 1 inch too far, and everyone goes, "Oh!" Because you don't know. You can spit on it and pee on it. But you can't pee on it. But you don't know what the culture is, so you try to follow suit and just do the best thing you can imagine to do. But he gave you the heads up that the regurgitation is the normal, really important. Like, oh, that'd be, oh yes, regurgitation,
Show
perfect.
great honor over here.
All right,
We
Bird,
have
they
one
bring
good
you
one.
forward. Do you try to regurgitate on command?
I'm throwing up on command.
I think you can just do that, right? I mean, as the Birdman, you just go, and all the Kuatoa, even the opposing faction, they at least appreciate the respect, and they go, "Rah, rah, 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 rah." And then who's next? Lauren? What do? You can give offerings, especially like worthless trinkets to you, but the things that are sentimental, if you can throw away sentimental trash, they love it.
Like a bank deposit slip.
There you go.
I
Yeah.
have that.
If you had the turkey leg, it would have been the perfect thing. The bone of the turkey leg
I was
would
gonna
have been
say,
like,
did we
"Mwah."
keep a bone from Eldrith?
Oh,
when
that'd be
we-
gross.
It's
What we had
Here's
said
some
was
guy-
that
One
you
in my
stripped
pocket.
her.
Here's some guy we ate last week.
Yeah. There you go. Here's...
But we have some of these mushrooms.
She was probably
and
in
stuff
there in the
still,
regurgitation.
right?
Sure. Anything you think.
So, how about? Which one's the best?
Don't you have a glow stick?
Yeah, nightlight. Let me put down a nightlight.
You take the nightlight. You have to do the typical nightlight thing where you crack and shake it. And now it glows. And they're like, and then someone goes, "Spit on it." You like chew on the nightstick, and they're like, and then you throw it, and they're like, "Yeah." You had some bodily phlegm, and they're like, "Okay, great."
There we go. I needed to clear my throat anyway.
Garnet.
yeah. I got something from that box. I don't remember what I got.
Oh, you got like jewelry or something,
Did I
right?
pick the jewelry?
Because he got a glove, and you
I
got
remember
something
he got the glove.
sparkly too.
Oh, yeah, the
I got
Michael Jackson
something.
glove.
I'm imagining Sarah's was like, this doesn't make exact sense, but imagine you were eating like a granola bar, and you unwrap the wrapper, and you eat the granola bar, and then he just like litters the wrapper, and they're like, "Yeah!"
I mean, I guess we have other kind of mushrooms too,
Mhm.
or I could throw away the trinket I got.
Oh, you can just spit, Hakalogi, or
just
barf.
spit.
If you can barf, oh, that'd be great.
I don't think I can barf. I'm
She's been
too bad.
drinking. Yeah, she
There
can.
you go.
So
Drink some drow poison and then vomit it back out.
There we go.
I guess I'll just spit. Big hockaloogie.
They look and they're like, "Yeah, it's passable." Yeah, whatever.
Not as cool as the nightlight.
Yeah.
You know. And James, you've already been blessed, but if you want to do something
I'm
again,
gonna still do it again.
Yeah.
You gotta do it in front of everybody.
Yeah.
if you've been here for 3-4 days, this would have probably been something like, they tell you when you wake up in the morning for that day, come by and do a little something. So you've probably done it a few times now.
I
To
gotta
come
up
by
my
and do a
game.
something.
All right, I have an Elvish minted coin that I've cast continual flame on. So,
Oh,
but I keep them in a leather pouch so they don't glow. I'm gonna take one of those bad boys out while palming it. I'm gonna put it in my mouth and I'm gonna make like a cat and like.
puke up like something glowing.
And I'm gonna barf up a flaming coin onto the altar.
They're like,
14, I make my constitution, so I am Ralphin' good. What little fish bits they gave me to eat, I'm also throwing up, as well as this flaming coin.
Yeah. So during this, and again, you speak undercommon, so you hear this argument. The daughter is there, Sloobludop, and she's yelling at the dad. She's like, okay, they've given their blessings, but that's not enough. Your God is getting their appeasement, but my God still needs our appeasement. So we're still going to sacrifice these people. And then he's arguing, no, they have the blessing. And so they're like this little tit for tat shit. Mm-hmm. Just like with you, he's like, well, I get half. They have this stupid negotiating of their childhood fairness, And she goes, well, some of them are still, whatever her stupid point is. But his bottom line is he goes, 2 days. In 2 days, we will discuss this further. And she goes, Rrr. So he says basically kind of what the plan A was. He's like, in 2 days, we'll bring some of them. But the word is a little vague. How many? Like the group. Sure. But that could mean all of them, or that could mean the group that we're going to sacrifice. But he goes, in 2 days, we'll bring the group to your altar. He's like, you'll get your blood. And she goes, Arr! And then her little faction, they teeter off. They get mad and they teeter off. And they're kind of making a show of it. Like they're being a little disrespectful on purpose. So even though you guys are still doing your little ceremonious stuff, they walk away in the middle of it to show their unhappiness.
Sure.
But in a sense, it works.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right.
So you guys have bought some time and you've done a little blessing, and the on paper story is that in 2 days a bunch of you are going to get murdered.
Yes.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What do you guys want to do? You're all standing
when
around.
we finally get back and I can talk to everybody in common without being overheard, then I'm not saying anything till then. So till we're alone.
Okay.
So are we
Nothing
alone?
stops you guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
You guys
okay.
can all go back to your little prison cell, and you can all group
right.
up, and you can have anybody you do or don't want there. And at some point in the next hour, there will be a moment where
All right.
all the kerfluff settles down, and everybody goes their ways. And
Sure. I mean,
Okay.
I will just fill them into what happened with me and my people, and say, obviously, we're doomed if we don't take care of this.
yeah,
This guy seems to be honorable, but clearly fearful of that half.
Mm-hmm.
But since he's given the word as far as killing his daughter is okay, because I don't see this happening without her death, and it's going to be a bit of a civil war. But
well, Shushar asked you some questions. Well, you've been here. Well, first of all, do you snort the mushrooms? They tell you that this little
who's
beanstalk.
telling me? The drow tells me
go,
I'm
go
going to
ahead.
slit
Go
his
ahead,
throat.
Lauren. Go ahead,
I'll
Lauren.
tell you. Do I need to roll
Just tell him.
Just tell me.
snort the mushrooms?
We tried that, and she didn't snort them,
Yeah.
so we got to be a little
Not
bit
the
more
So we can all
persuasive.
communicate without any of these people knowing. that
Telepathically.
we snort these mushrooms
In
right
silence.
From this guy. And that's what we've all done, and we've been able to talk in secret in our minds. And you should do it.
Well, they also don't seem to understand common, so I'm going to stick with the old-fashioned method.
That's what I was gonna ask that a second ago when you said that. Like, we could have been talking in a different language this whole time, because they only speak Undercommon.
Well, what language do you all share that they don't?
Common, right?
So, you guys can be in France, and you can say, why don't we all speak English? Because they don't all speak English. But that is the most common thing that some of them probably do speak. Especially their guides and scouts probably do speak common.
Sure.
So it's not the common language, but if you had, if you all spoke Primordial, or you all spoke Sylvan, it'd be a good plan. But speaking common's not a great plan.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I know Elvish, too, for anybody
No.
Alright, fine.
I know Dwarvish.
I'm just common and gnomish.
Alright, fine.
Yeah, just go.
Just bird.
You
Just
have
bird
talk or
and
something?
Acrococa
Oh,
and
you
Orin
got
and common,
undercommon.
and I have undercommon.
Oh, there you go. So you do one.
So you've been understanding this whole time there.
Yeah, you just been playing the
It's
jerk
about
like
playing dumb. Just don't let them know what's going on. Don't want to show your hand.
Care. So I say, well, we're not out of here till she dies, and that's gonna cause civil war. So I say, we do our business and then get the hell out of here.
I want to just screw it up and just not do the sacrifice thing to appease his daughters.
Well, yeah, no, we're
Yeah,
gonna
this-
sacrifice her.
There you
I mean, they made it. They're zealots, so it doesn't matter. That's the only thing they're gonna understand.
go. Right.
If you get my meaning. So
Mm-hmm.
I say,
Give them what they want to sacrifice to remember
exactly.
their priestess.
Yeah.
So we're going to go along with him and let him bring us up to the altar and then hope that he actually does turn on her at the last minute.
I think he will because he's seeing his power slip away daily.
Mm.
They seem to understand that as well.
All right.
And then my character would ask a quick overview of everybody's skills, just so we know what we're doing in a fight.
Just saying, if it wasn't for this whole ambiguous role thing I got to keep doing, I could really kill
I could
it.
be a good fighter.
I could be a lot better.
Did we eat all the tacos? Looks like we destroyed them. Oh, there's two right here. Never mind.
There's two right there.
I don't know what these are.
I say, well, I am. I can help everyone out in a fight, deal out some healing, but some damage. Seeing as I'm down here and they have susceptibility to light, my God has blessed me with an overabundance of light.
My God.
Light. That seems to affect them.
It does.
My fire spells affect them.
I have the ability to blind large groups of people at once.
Ooh.
Actually.
Do you guys determine that other than common, you don't all share language?
Nope.
Okay. Well, Sarah, among others, would be like, just north of mushrooms.
Just do it. Just do it. Do it. Do it.
And remember, your character's not mad at Sarah. Buffeto's mad at Sarah.
I do have nature proficiency.
What does that matter?
I'm gonna look at these shrooms. I'm not gonna do anything that's,
They're-
just because they say okay, we can communicate doesn't mean that it has
In the
other
immediate
effects.
future, we
not
haven't
only are they
noticed
trying
any
to get
side
you to snort
effects.
shrooms, the shrooms are a byproduct of this crazy mushroom. That crazy mushroom is alive and talking.
I know.
You can talk to him about his own byproduct.
Yeah, I still don't trust it. So I got
So
medicine
with your
and
magic,
nature.
with your not your magic, with your nature skill.
I got shit. But medicine, I make medicine. I miss nature, but I make medicine. So I'm gonna look them
You
over.
look at it and you say, "You've heard of this. You've heard of telepathic shrooms."
Okay.
And so what it is on paper is not particularly weird. I mean, it's rare. They're telepathic mind spores.
S'mores.
S'mores.
Nice s'mores.
And so they're creating a mental link with a spore in your brain. It is somewhat temporary because your brain will reject it over time, but
Okay.
you keep inhaling more while you're standing around this little stool. And so as long as you stay within, close proximity of him, you're keeping it refreshed. Your medicine check tells you the exact thing you're worried about. Like you're asking the loaded questions yourself, like, are there side effects? And your medical expertise goes, there could be side effects. So that's exactly what you're afraid of. But it's a loaded question, so you're answering yourself in the positive.
So you guys all want me to smell the stool. Deeply inhale this stool.
Sniff it.
You're telling me to sniff this stool.
I woke up with the stool in my face, so I didn't have a chance
Mm.
to not.
We've been able
Well, your
to
party-
evade people.
Your party is
Speak in the door.
admitting no ill effects and is not complaining of any side effects. There's no symptoms they notice.
Yeah. Well, that's also how illusions work. You fool yourself all day. Those would be helpful. Damn it. All right, fine. I'll sniff the turd.
Could I do the? Could I do like the check for the darkness against it to see if there's anything dubious about it?
What does that mean? Detect evil?
Yeah.
The spore is not evil.
But what about the clown guy that's like trying to guard him all the time? Is he doing something?
Of course, Sarah's evil.
Well, I know, but is he doing something to maybe block or make the poison bad?
Did you just say make the poison bad?
Make the neutral poison not so neutral.
Detect evil does not tell you what Sereth has been up to. It just tells you whether he's evil. You already know Sereth's evil, but you can confirm he's evil. The spore is not evil.
I think we should go over there and kill him and just see how the game turns out. He's not helping. We get into
The
the
spore
fight.
or Sarah?
No, Seraph. I think he just needs to
I would be
die.
down for that, really.
All right, we got 2 out of 4. What you feeling there, buddy?
Side quest.
I mean, you already used him as a human shield or whatever he is, something shield.
Buppido did.
Buppido did.
Well, there you go. So we know he's on the, because he was pissed off enough. He's running behind him.
Did you mention to Buppido? Hey,
Oh, Buppido
wanna
knows.
kill Sarah?
We're killing that dude. Come on, Garnet.
Buppido just goes,
Don't I have some kind of persuasion thing? Isn't that
sure,
my
you
deal?
can persuade. the
Persuasion +3 on my.
Ooh.
So who are you trying to persuade to do what?
I'm gonna try to persuade James's little moon forehead girl to get him to go over there. I want to take this guy out. He's pissed me off. I'm vengeful. I'm an angry bird. So what do I gotta roll for that? Charisma is
It's not clear to me yet.
+3.
You're trying to convince the cleric
That's
to
it.
kill Sarah.
Yep.
Okay, with what words?
With the words that come out of my beak. Let's go kill him. I don't like him there in the beginning, so my vengeance is raging. It's that time of the moon.
I lay my hand on his shoulder and I say, my friend, you have affirmed what I would believe a drow would act. Why would we waste the time and the resources when he very well could be an additional shield against these people during this plan?
I'm just ready to kill him. We'll think about that later.
During the jailbreak, he did considerable damage with his acid arrows. He did more than like anyone else in the party.
I don't trust him then.
He fucked the Quaggoth.
I don't trust him.
I
trust
don't
him.
either.
Well-
He's a
Okay,
drow.
Well, there we
But
go. We're
again-
about to do something. We don't need to have people turning on us in this moment. We need people all together, and he's not with us. That's my deal. So how do I got to roll to do Jedi mind trick on you and just be
Well,
like,
without a spell, it's
this
not
is
going to happen.
this is the drone you're
You
looking
gotta
for.
convince me otherwise. I'm not an NPC. You can't just throw dice at me.
Let me throw a dice at him.
You can roll your dice.
Let me roll.
Throw
Take
in
your
real
+3 and use whether it's very high or very low as kind of like a pendulum swing, so that James can keep in mind that although you may not be articulating it well, your character's very persuasive.
Yes.
But there's a line where he just goes, "No, that's dumb."
It's not. This is the way.
This might be a good roll, yeah.
So which
It
one
could
do I
be a
roll?
good roll,
That's
but I
right.
know how you're gonna roll.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Well,
Right in
so
the
it's
middle.
14.
Yeah, that's about where you're coming off right
with
now.
the plus, what'd you say, +3?
No, it's a 10
Persuasion?
plus the let's
Oh.
see, persuasion. Oh no, it's a 13.
13.
Yeah.
Missed
So
it by
yeah, that's
much.
really mediocre.
Well, can I chime in and give middle ground
Ooh.
of like, could we agree to use him as a shield often because there is something weird about him? He's not really. Doesn't seem like he's on our side, so let's not just kill him, but
I say
he
well.
is the one we can kind of give up, and like we use him like he's using us.
And the spores are really getting pushed on us, and there's always like this sense
If-
of like we're not sure if it's as good as what it's all being made out to be.
If
It feels like a trap that'll
he
inevitably
is
happen
as
if
you
we don't
say he is, and he is
expose it.
It is my God's belief that every elf could possibly be redeemed. If you say he's irredeemable and he proves
Ooh.
himself to be, then yes, of course. He may unwittingly aid in our escape, but actively using our resources and time against him, I don't think would be the best play. I'm getting at the birds really direct.
Pretty straightforward. This guy's full of crap. He's clearly like it's already been not well hidden that he's doing something with that mushroom since day one. It's gonna come back and bite us. You'll be sorry, says the bird.
Yeah,
if you're not seeing the obvious here, but whatevs.
Nice.
Okay.
All right, what are we doing
But
here?
all that was before you snorted the shrooms.
Yeah.
She gonna do it now?
So you're like, well, following that weird conversation,
Yeah.
there's something up
I
with the
need some
shrooms, and
shrooms.
now do the shrooms. I feel like that's counterintuitive
It
to your
is.
main point.
It is. That actually, that scares me out of it. I'm like, no, I'm still not going to do it.
Oh.
I can speak undercommon. I can speak common. There's really no need. So,
Okay.
nope. You guys have been sniffing stool way too long.
All right. So you guys have a little council.
Yeah.
Shoeshark says, okay. Sit. We must have a war council. We have heard one bad suggestion after another. We need to give these people a new option. An option that lets all of us leave in peace. I believe none of us have any reason to stay or deal with this situation, right? Our real objective is to get boats and get out of here.
Yes.
Is that not true?
Yeah.
Get to blindings.
Blingdenstone.
Blingdenstone.
And he says, but truthfully, my real objective is to, find out what I'm going to do with the rest of my life, right? Find a new home for myself, and this is my shattered home. Leaving it as it is not ideal. It'd be great if we could have a solution here. But as things are now, that won't happen. But maybe there's a way to both get what we want. Let's offer a real solution to this problem. Let's suggest something that can let you guys leave free and let me restabilize this city.
I'm listening.
I'm thinking sacrifice the drown. Looking at the bird.
He's like, I have been around the above grounders and the non-fish folk for so long that I'll admit some of it is rubbing off on me. First of all, how is he communicating?
Undercommon or common? I'll translate.
So
to
he's
anybody.
speaking to you in Undercommon,
He knows undercommon.
and he's mentally projecting it to everyone else.
Sure.
Okay, fair enough. He's like, I think some of the other factions have been rubbing off on me. It's like, I think we need to have an election. If we can convince these fish people there's another way, they don't have to pick bad choice 1 or bad choice 2. They can pick a third choice. It's like we can get out of this situation entirely.
Or
I see
can
what you're
we?
setting up, my friend, and you're doomed to fail. But if you can convince them long enough for us to get out of here, you can implode because that's clearly what you people want.
He goes, I think we should approach Prupopine and suggest my idea. An election. And he's like, and no one wants me to lead. But do they want me to lead rather than fight each other to the death? I only need to be everyone's, second best choice.
If you want to implode, you want to implode.
Yeah. So he says, with your blessing, I want to go talk to Prupopine.
Not alone.
Sure.
Not alone. I say to common and everybody else. I think you probably understand. Not that it matters. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, go talk to him.
Into a political thing now.
Hopefully, you just have enough time. We just need to get out while they're not looking to see us as currency.
But instead, if
I mean,
if he starts doing politics,
I mean,
how do we not become a bargaining tool?
yeah, or it might cause enough chaos that we just get out.
So is that the ultimate plan? And just get out before we ever even get to an altar for?
I mean, the plan is definitely get out. Some boats would be good.
Okay. If you go with him, he's going to bring up the Prupopine thing being peaceful, and they wanted to murder each other. He's like, but we can see where that's gone.
Yeah. Well,
He says one of those cheesy campaign slogans like, I think now, like, this is the time. This is the time.
It's now or never.
Prupopine for chieftain. The least of the worst choices.
No, Shushar. Yeah, Shushar.
Shushar.
Shushar for Chiefs. The best bad you've got.
Right.
The better
I mean,
bad choice.
Look at the alternatives.
Right.
I'm
an asshole, but those two are dicks.
I guess I'm okay with it. I guess we'll see. You know, I mean, it's again your society. I just want to look at our best chances of getting out of here without you people trying to murder us and toss us in the water.
Mm-hmm. So, with anyone who's going to go with him, he takes it to Plupopine.
I'll go with it.
And he says, "We want to do elections." And Plupopine is like, "What? Like, what kind of a surface-dwelling, stupid idea is that? We don't elect our leaders. We get visions. A vision. We get visions from our God, and that's that." And he goes, "I don't care. We're gonna discuss it or whatever, you know." And he asks for another meeting with him and Bloplopod. Bloplopod gets word back to them that she refuses. She's not gonna meet with them. He doesn't care. And it becomes this sort of weird, like, well, are you going to stop me? And Plupopine says, look, you guys do whatever you want, and in 2 days, you're supposed to get sacrificed, right? So in a day and a half, right? So let's say that's 2 days at noon. How about in 2 days at 10 a.m., 2 whole hours before the sacrifice? We'll all meet in the plaza, and we'll do your election if you so choose. And then obviously the people will speak for themselves. Because if no one agrees to do this stupid plan, then the plan will stop, you know? He's like, so you have my blessing to take a day and a half and try to convince as many fish people as you want. And then we'll have all of our leaders meet in front of the statue in the morning, 2 days from now, and we'll do a vote. But he thinks it's ridiculous.
What's this guy's name again?
The archpriest?
No, the other.
Shushar.
Shushar, the vision of the future.
Yeah, the vision.
A vision for the future.
A vision for
I
the
tell
future.
him that's his campaign slogan. A vision for the future.
Shushar is speaking to you in Undercommon, and it's like their word for campaign manager is like shithead. It's like,
Sure.
will you be my shithead?
Yes. You are these people's
Sure.
vision for the future.
So Plupopine goes, all right, whatever. What do we got to lose? All I can do is break the stalemate. Like, what do I care? And he goes, have fun. You have until 10 o'clock 2 days from now, and then we're going to have our election, which is really going to be just a bunch of people ignoring you. But maybe you can convince
Who
them.
dies first?
Maybe you can convince them. And Bloopopod will be there because I can enforce it by saying we're going to show up at the plaza because there'll be a big shindig. I mean, she's going to show up.
Right?
And then, 2 hours after that is the sacrifice time. And he goes, so, he's like, but really plan A. Right? Really plan 1.
Sure.
All right. So.
Oh my god.
So you guys have effectively been given the archpriest permission to have an election. If you can convince a bunch of the fish people to not be part of one of the death cults and to join Shushar instead, you can sway them out of this stalemate.
Okay.
Are we getting help back through this process here? We went through some days where we're getting some.
It's still that day, but yeah, when you sleep tonight, you'll have food.
Some of our birds only have 11 HP.
You'll be able to roll your 40 to 10 hit dice.
I'll heal up the group there. I got
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Shushar has magical healing as well.
Yeah.
You go, shithead. I will.
That's you.
I will give you my magical healing per day if you can help me. And he goes, what's our strategy? You're the campaign manager now.
Sure.
And you've been here. He's like, I know how it used to be, but you know how it is.
Well, yes. I say we need to get what we need to do is those people that are on the fence, are unsure about the faction that they're currently in. Those are the ones we need to appeal. Because clearly your people are split, so we just need to get the unsure people. So any people you think that are unsure, those are the ones we got to appeal to. We just got to get a bigger presence to show for this.
He goes, I don't think you're thinking big enough. The way the fish culture works is anyone who's unsure just looks to the next person higher than them.
Okay.
And those people look to the next person higher than them. And this person looks to the higher person than them. And he's like, and the person who's the highest, they speak loudest. He's like, but you realize that while he's talking, he means literally. He means at these forums, at these plazas, the fish that are literally the highest are the ones that everyone listens to.
Okay.
And you're thinking he means figuratively. You're like, this makes sense. Yeah, it's very wise, actually, that the looks of your elder or whatever. And he goes, that's why we have these really tall platforms. And you're like, what? Excuse me, what?
Okay.
This is literal?
I say, well,
And
we
he goes,
got a bird, man,
At
who
6'5".
can fly you up
He goes,
above the
no.
crowd.
And non-fish will never be an option.
Okay.
He's like, but if we're going to have an election in 2 days, we need to go to the plaza and where the standing spots are, because they're going to elect by bodies. Walk to the guy that you agree with.
Okay.
And then your posse's going to be around you. It's going to be literal. Like raise your hands in a school, And he's like, what if we secretly make our platform taller than their platforms? And to him, that's like actually a legitimately good idea. He's like, the fish will look around and I will be taller than them.
Okay.
So that's one.
All right.
And he goes, but you're also right that figuratively, I mean the high priests. We should focus our attention on the high priests. He goes, if we can't convince the high priests one-on-one, we can't convince anyone.
We can get the son in right away.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't seem to be. He's not totally in on what his father's preaching.
Glugugog.
Yep.
It's Pulpupin's son, and he's loyal to the Sea Mother.
I say also, I have the ability to fill an area with truth, and in that area, people can only speak the truth. I could impose that on the square, and it would make it difficult for people to lie. Some will be able to defeat it, but not everyone.
He's like, but what would we be saying?
You will ask them questions that people want the answers to, but they know will be difficult for them to answer.
See, he was thinking his elections are just going to be like 5 seconds long and they're just elections. And you're like, no, let's actually have speeches.
Yeah.
And he's like, like, could we do that? He's like, what fish would sit still? And he's like, but if we could do it, it'd be very powerful. He's like, yes, we will tell them on the morning of the offering that we're going to give speeches. And he sends some lackeys, like, go tell the priests, be prepared. I'm going to give a speech, and you guys might not want to be one up. You might want to give your own speech. And he says, this is going to work twice. Not only is our speech going to sound good, their speech is going to sound bad.
Yes.
It's going to work. It's going to work for us twice.
So just keep your speech truthful.
Yeah. He's like, absolutely.
What else?
Okay, so you guys want to meet with Glubugog?
Hang on, I'm seeing what other things I can do to help this guy out. Plus I'm going to do... Oh yeah, when he's speaking, I'm also going to give him guidance, so I'll give him a additional bonus to his charisma roll. I'm going to make sure I have calm emotions prepared in case shit goes sideways. Alright. I got this.
Alright.
Command.
You guys go meet with Glugugog. This is the son of Pupupin.
Yep.
And the high priest of the Sea Mother.
Yep.
He meets with you. Is there a place you'd like to meet?
No, we'll find him wherever he's at.
Oh, he's usually around the dad's
Sure.
house, or he'd be at the altar.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys go to the big altar with the sea gods.
Yeah.
Who all's there? Everybody? Anybody who wants to be there?
Yeah.
Do you have the snorting spores? Otherwise, no one can understand them.
I still haven't taken them, so.
Well, you don't speak Undercommon, or you do?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Who doesn't speak Undercommon?
Those two.
Okay. Are you guys there, though? Is it coming?
Sure.
Okay.
Shoal force.
So you guys meet up at the Temple of the Sea Goddess, and you meet with Glugugog, the high priest of the good bad faction. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you guys? What do you say? You launch into what?
Just say, we've found a way out of this. we have found a solution, a lasting solution for your people. Actually proposed by
Shushar.
Shushar, and I point to him, and that is clearly your people divided, and they need some sort of unification, and we are looking to propose an election, and it will decide what the bulk of your people want.
When you guys say, like, I heard a vision, and they go, vision! When you say election, it's like the opposite. Election. Election! Like, they stay like, and they're like, they mention something like, well, what kind of, like, new age shit is that?
Right.
What do you mean, pick our leaders? And
I
they,
say-
they just mock and spit and do a little bird walk.
I said Shoeshine, right? Is
Yeah.
his name? Shoeshine is the vision of the future.
Vision of the future.
Yes, and he will unify your people.
And he goes, well, the problem is that the person that we are negotiating against, she has seen a vision. And they go, a vision!
Yep.
And they go, it's hard for even me to keep faith because, our visions were older. She has a new vision, and that, like, changes the dynamic of the world. I just don't...
He is the vision of the future.
Yeah, exactly. And he goes, I just don't like her and her plans. Like, she wants to kill all the Koatoa. And that's a terrible thing. But she was given a vision. A vision!
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, it's hard to keep faith, and I'm just holding on. But if there's another way, then maybe that works.
This is the way.
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, if enough of your people decide that her way is not the way, then she will either follow in line or be ousted.
Yeah.
And it will break this stalemate.
Right.
Because that's where you're at.
Yeah. When he says, I can see a vision of the future, we're all just going to kill each other. And he goes, another way. And he seems like take it to heart, like a vision of the future. Oh, and he's doing that thing. He's like, maybe I believe. And you think it's gone well. You think, like, this guy understands. Like, he's in a position where he sees the pragmatism of, well, we can't just murder each other.
Right.
We can't just have 50-50 on each side of an aisle that are just going to kill each other. We can't have that. So, third party,
Yep.
And he's like, okay. He's like, I think I agree with you.
All right.
So the meeting goes well.
Excellent.
But that's the easy meeting. The hard meeting is with Sloobludop. That is the high priest of the Deep Father. Hanging out at the altar of the Deep Father. And you're right in the enemy's underbelly, right? I'm assuming you're going to find a time when Sloobludop is not around.
I don't think we're going to approach this dude.
You don't think so?
I mean, we don't want to know that. I mean, he's a fanatic. I don't think we're going to be able to reach him.
Well, he might not be a fanatic. He's just the high priest of their faction. She's the one who had the vision. Shushar's plan is that you got to get the high priests.
Okay.
That's. I mean, you can argue with his plan and change it, but his plan is if we can't get them, then how do we make a ripple? How do we get any serious people?
Get the second in charge.
Yeah, if you get the seconds in charge, then we have a real thing here.
Okay.
So, you're right that approaching him at the altar is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
You don't want to go into the heart of the beast. Yeah. So you guys find a time when he's by himself. And you approach, and maybe he has a couple lackeys with him, but it's pretty cordial.
Okay.
And you know that you're allowed to travel to town. So, like, you've seen him. There's only, like, 100 fish people.
Okay.
Right, but it's not like there's 10,000. Like, you would have seen him 6 times in 4 days.
Sure.
So you approach him.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little more standoffish, obviously.
Yeah.
What do you guys want to say? He remembers Shushar from the old days.
Sure.
Just like how Shushar was like a rebel. But you don't have the right direction.
Offline.
We're offline?
Think so, yeah.
Uh-oh.
No, just refresh. Well, it's not stopping.
Okay. All right.
Is it working on your end? Because I had that happen a couple times from my phone as well.
All right.
We haven't gotten a new comment in a while.
Nope, says we're back.
That could be.
And we did
okay.
have like hiccups with the internet the other day, so it might just be internet hiccups.
Yep, probably just my phone. Okay.
Okay. And he says, but you're going in the wrong direction. Like, you can't change us by killing all of us. Like, that's not going to work. Like, we need a real way forward. And he's like, if we combine our shared desire to change with a better plan, we can actually get somewhere, not just murder everyone. And Sloobludop basically says, it's similar to what the guy said. He's like, I'm following her because she had a vision. A vision! And that's the thing. He's like, I have to side with her.
I say, well, after you sacrifice enough people to really dwindle down your numbers, and the Drow or the Drugar come knocking, what do you do then? Other than pretty much get enslaved by the Drow or eaten by the Mind Flayers.
Right.
What do you do then?
He goes, that sounds like Tuesday. It's like, that's what happens every day. We're the fish people. Like, people are threatening to kill us every day.
Yeah, but the threat will be real when your numbers are low enough.
He goes, yes, but we've had a vision of a god coming to help us. A fresh vision. A vision!
I say, well, Shoeshine has the vision of the future, which is your people are no longer...
His little eyes spark. He goes, you have vision?
He is the vision of the future.
He just
where
goes,
your people are unified.
You had vision? And Shushar is like, just pushed to lie. He's like,
I say, in my God's vision, your people are unified and you help stabilize the Underdark.
So when you say you had a vision, he goes, you had a vision? Everyone's like, ah!
I say, I discussed this with your lady.
And then Shushar just goes, I think it's the only way to get through to this guy. Shushar goes, but wait, I had a vision. Ah, you had a vision? Like, everyone's had a vision. And Shushar, you can tell he's lying. It's obvious he's lying. But he goes, yes, I also had a vision. Like, this is going to be bad. My vision was that her vision was bad. And he goes, oh my gosh, that changes everything. He's like, if you had a vision that her vision was bad, then her vision's not a vision, and then we're back to not having a vision, and then we should do the best thing for us. And it's a surprisingly, reasonable comment from a fish under the backdrop of an unbelievably stupid circumstance.
Okay.
So
yeah,
under a false pretense, you might have Klib de Gut on your side as well.
If that's what these idiots need, then
yes, exactly.
I've got it covered.
All right. What else do you guys want to do? That takes care of that stuff. Obviously, you can proselytize with the people. You can go door to door. You can do other things. But you've got the high priest to agree. They're like, okay, I agree. And they're going to go tell their people, hey, in the elections, a third party. So you've got that going for you. All right, what do you guys want to do now? Or we can get on with it.
Bide our time till 46 hours.
Yeah.
Not 48.
At this point, it's just under 2 days. And I think you guys want to make preparations to leave.
Because we brought a lot of furniture with us.
If we could secure a boat
Yeah.
before that time, it'd be great.
Mm-hmm. You guys can get boats.
So we can get on that boat like right away.
Do you admit you have other people in your party? 4 more people?
I don't care about the drow.
I don't mean the drow. I mean,
the other dudes
you have a
sticking around?
camp of 4 other people outside town.
I don't know about these people.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah,
do you...
they're still out. Oh, like tell...
How are you going to communicate with them? And do you want to have them have a boat, or are you abandoning them?
So if we're doing anything with them, like, me as Ren has to do something, or we're, like, speaking what those people are doing while we're inside?
Right, you can't speak as them. You have to tell me what Ren does.
Okay.
Is Ren ditching them, or is Ren going to go get them?
Ditch
I could fly over.
I guess I'll go get them. Now, should we ditch them?
No, we got a little werewolf.
I mean,
guy.
I don't like the werewolf dudes.
Oh.
You don't like the
Werewolves
werewolf
are my
were-rat
friends.
twins?
I have some suspicion. It's like how you feel about this drow.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
like,
look up. Yeah, little rats.
not feeling them, but Jim Jar? We're gonna just leave Jim Jar? I feel like he's special.
You only like his special attacks.
He's a little special buddy.
Well,
The Quaggoth. the
What did
king
he
of the
ever do to
elves.
us?
Well, do you guys tell James about these people?
Yeah. What's your character's name again?
Leilana.
Okay. Leilana.
Yes.
We do know some other people that have stayed
Loyal.
away to keep watch.
Oh, you have smarter
kind of?
companions?
Yeah. So if you think they're
Excellent.
smart,
For our directives.
should we like let them know what's going on at this point? Do you think? What do you
I mean,
think?
or we could
'Cause-
just take the boat to them and pick them up.
yeah.
I don't know who these companions are.
They're
but-
staying off the lake, tucked away like a little micro cave.
Gosh.
So they're probably in a safer place anyway.
Then
I
we-
think we
so-
should tell them to move towards the water, but not through the city.
I-
Well, are they similar
Keep
to this
them-
drow who's very self-centered?
From out of the picture.
I'm only mentioning that your plan was that when the kerfuffle starts and the distraction starts, you guys were going to piece the hell out. And if there's actually a problem or a riot, or you're just like, okay, that didn't work, go sacrifice that, you're on the run. You won't have time to go get them.
Unless we run towards them.
Then you're running away from the lake.
Come on, we want to fight the fish people on the water.
I'm just bringing it up.
So we're going to be over here when all that happens, and they actually are
But
way
there's
over there.
dangers on the
The
way.
plan was to get boats and sail away.
Right. So
you
are they
need-
waiting for us? Like
They don't know
on
what they're waiting
the
for.
beach?
No,
They're just
Like
in a
where?
I'm
hole.
asking where the hell
Not
are
why,
they in relation
where?
to the lake?
Yeah.
Are they on
So-
the other side of the
'Cause
lake?
they're
just on
Other side of the
papers.
lake? 'Cause it was very
Fair enough.
ambiguous.
Yeah.
So here's a big lake. Okay? And here's Sloobludop on the edge of the lake. And you guys were approaching like this-ish. And so they found a little spot to hide out. While you guys then joined up with the patrol and went into Sloobludop.
Okay.
Okay, and
And
we're
then when
wanting
you
to
get
cross
boats,
the lake.
you're going to enter the lake. Meaning you will be
So it's-
creating a bigger distance
So
from
they
them.
are slightly nearer the lake than they are right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So you would like them to either have a rendezvous point with their own boat,
So they would
or
be able-
meet you somewhere, or get them and bring them into town and have them get on the boats with you.
so how far are they from us now?
They're like over
It's
here
it's
near James's
undeclared,
laps.
but fairly
How do I
close.
not remember how far we traveled?
Because
No, that's
the
what I'm
map
saying. We
just
didn't
put them over
declare
on
it.
this side.
But it's the amount of distance it
Yeah,
would take for you to get
we
attacked
went
by a
in.
patrol around the city and then walk up to the city. So
Not that
maybe
far.
45 minutes a walk. So yeah, the bird could just go.
Am I-
Oh, you could just
it's
fly
like
there.
I can fly. They can't see me, and I got
45
50
minutes,
speed,
2.5
so I'm a
miles.
good.
If I'm small,
so the
can I just
bird-
like jump on his back and we go?
No, sadly no. So there's already this ridiculous idea that the bird can wear human armor and have a human sword and still fly. And so there's this massive suspension of disbelief that the bird can fly, period, but he does not have the carrying capacity to offset his weight. Now, how his armor, because according to the math,
I don't have any armor right now.
well, if
right?
you had your plate mail, you can still fly. You know what I mean? Like,
it says somewhere around here that the only hindrance comes when I wear heavy.
oh, okay. So there actually is a note about that. So you can't wear full heavy armor.
No, it's
All right,
not, I
that's-
can. It's just my flight is not.
Yes, you
hindered
can't
until-
fly with your heavy armor.
It's not hindered until I'm wearing heavy stuff. So I'm not. What I got on me right now is.
But no, he can't carry anyone. I mean, if there's like an airship crashing and you want to say how much can he glide down, that's a whole different conversation. He can make skill checks and try to get something done, but he can't travel with you.
Where did that say that? I saw it somewhere.
Pretzel
Fly
chocolate.
speed.
Oh,
it just says
pretzel
or
chocolate.
white
the
chocolate.
flight speed is 50 when I'm
Pretzel
not wearing.
Not
heavy armor.
good.
Okay.
I'm still working on these over here, actually.
I'm-
I do
Can
like this
smell it
chocolate
before
one
you
though.
drink it?
That aftertaste.
Can I-
is-
So you're gonna send the bird as a liaison. That's no problem. But what's the plan?
You didn't like the other one?
Smells
The
like white
aftertaste is pretty good. Like the aftertaste
No.
is like I just ate chocolate. Yeah.
Smells
So James, they explain to you one of their party is an elven prince, and he was cursed, and the curse transformed him into a quaggoth. So he's trapped in the body of a quaggoth, but he's an elven prince,
chocolate.
and he's trying to get back to the surface to get back to his people.
Alright, we gotta save this guy. They said the magic words.
Yeah.
I say we leave the were-rats behind.
Poor little rats.
What's the
That's
other
fine.
guy?
See, that was my
He's a deep
thought
gnome?
process.
Jim Jar,
there.
Smurf Narbler?
Yeah.
So I'm bringing the were-rats back unless you killed the. This
He's
I'm bringing them back in my pocket. I'm going to drop them right on you whenever they start turning at the full moonlight. Kill him.
Wait, you don't like the situation, so you'll make it worse?
If you guys are going to ditch the were
I'm
rats,
vengeful.
they're going to ditch themselves, and it's going to be like no problem because they don't trust themselves around civilization when the moon turns, and it's happening any day now. So they're already greatly concerned that being around you guys is a problem. So they're just as likely to run off on their own.
Oh, that's
Can we say they've already
So you can let them
run off?
go. You can just let them go into the night.
Yeah.
Okay.
My little buddies.
I say, well, whatever it is, we can't leave without this transformed
Prince of the Elf.
elf. Yes.
Daredevil.
Yeah, Darren.
But we're leaving Jim Jar and
I mean, I'm not cool with bringing the landmines that are the topsy-turvy.
right. We agree. We're letting them
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, that's fine. Hey, I said all along, are we sure we want to leave Jim Jar with them?
You did say that.
My plan was to leave the people that we didn't really care about that much.
Well, do
And
we
maybe
think
they ran off when we were sleeping anyway.
bringing these people in might make the situation worse? So
Yeah, that's fine.
I think we just have Rooster over here give them a heads up.
What if we position him like
We get Kenny Rogers to take
Yeah.
a trip out there.
to start attack to like be in the waiting like for a pouncing attack if this little are we doing the sacrifice thing or whatever?
No, we're doing the election.
We're doing the election. What if the election goes sideways so we have our guys kind of waiting in the wings as a flanking option?
Against the hundreds of people, I think.
To help you
we're
guys
screwed.
get-
Well, if there's 100, 50 of them are on the wrong side. You know, there's not 100 bad guys. There's 50 bad guys.
And it might just be something to clear a pathway for you. If this little clown right here is trying to help, you know. I'm going back there to let him know we got a plan to get out of here.
Sure. Just tell them to be at the ready.
Yeah, just be at the ready because something's
for
going
anything,
down.
either to go or to beat feet quickly.
That's right.
So this will play into what's likely what would have happened anyway. When you go to check on them, Jim Jar and Darendil are there, and Topsy Turvy have left
Okay.
of their own volition
All right.
because they don't want to be around people and they just ran off.
All right.
Okay.
So they're gone. I'm bringing the other two with us, so we're walking back now because they don't have wings. Can't pick their fat butts up. Oh,
So you guys are going stealthy.
dear alert.
You know what to expect. You know that if you see a fish patrol, it's 50-50, a bad patrol or a good patrol.
Yeah, we're probably gonna kill him just to thin the herd out, anyways. Because I'm feeling ugly.
But I'm just saying you can avoid the bad patrols and join with the good patrols. So it's not that wouldn't be that hard. If you can fly and you can see in the dark and you know what you're looking for, there's not a realistic way for them to ambush you.
That's good. Yep.
I would say 50-50 you see a patrol. You see a patrol! And now 50-50 is it good or bad? Low is bad. You see a good patrol.
All right.
Hooray, and they guide you back into town.
Oh, cool.
So if you want your people in town, they can be, or they can just be waiting by the dark shore.
I think we need to kind of hang out on the side and just see what's happening. If we need to be some support whenever.
They would say, like, well, we'd like to eat, we'd like a place to sleep, and if you're worried about us in town, we can watch the boats.
We can forage, and we need to work on a boat. We don't have a boat right now, do we?
You're going to get boats from the Kuotoa.
But
You
if we
barter
gotta-
for a boat.
If we got to go quick, do we already have the boats?
That's what you need to work on. You have a day and a half.
Hey, I'm doing the politics. You
He's
people
doing
didn't worry
politics.
about the boats.
Yeah, I don't have to talk to anybody if I'm out there. We can just make something out of the mushrooms, right? Didn't you say we got some mushroom caps that we can turn into some boats?
You could go find a giant mushroom, cut it down, flip it over, hollow out the cap, drag it to the Dark Lake.
Hey, I got a day.
You'd have a
What else am I
rudimentary
gonna
boat.
do? And
Hold
while
on,
I'm hollowing
let
it
me
out, I
finish.
can feed him.
You'd have a rudimentary boat.
All right.
But that's not nearly as good as getting one of the Kuotoa boats. The,
Yeah,
the
that's
boat
what
you
I-
get from the Kuotoa will be a better boat.
Yeah, they're gonna want something though. I like the mushroom. And I can feed this guy in the process because he can
Sure.
eat the hollowed out. So we're gonna go mushroom.
All right. So
want
you
that.
guys start making a makeshift boat, and the plan is that
And you
Jim
guys
Jar
can,
and Darendil
come.
will use that makeshift boat, whether or not you guys also get Kuotoa boats.
Yeah.
Or do you want to make several mushroom boats and have a little pack of mushroom boats waiting off the side of the shore?
That's the whole deal. Like my idea here is
All right.
that I'm gonna cut away so you guys don't
Well,
have to do all
if
the
you
slaughtering
spend the
of
day with
things.
them, and then
Mhm.
you have the ability to relay back if you need to,
Yeah.
you guys can do that.
All right. It's
So
done.
you tell the party before you leave, I'm going to go deal with them and try to get boats. And at some point you fly back and say,
I like that.
tomorrow
Yeah.
I'm going to spend the day with them. We're going to work on boats.
We're gonna work on the boats. We'll have an escape plan ready.
Okay. So
So don't worry about
your bird is on boat duty, and he's making mushroom boats.
bird boats.
Okay.
It is the day before the election. We have a full day. He's spending the whole day building boats with Jim Jar and Darendil. What do you want to do, James? You're the shithead.
I am the shithead. I am going to walk around with this guy and basically just continuously give him guidance.
Okay.
I am just going to walk around with my hand on him, and anytime he goes to talk to people, I'm just going to give him an advantage.
All right.
Well, it gives him a 1d4 bonus, but I'm also...
We're gonna think of every cliche, simple one-liner that you've seen on the internet ever about third party and all this crap. You know, it's like, third party! He's walking around.
And if anybody gets whooped up and starts getting pissed off about us doing this, I'll calm their emotions.
Okay.
So,
That's a great plan.
yeah.
It boils down to the fact that
And I think...
anyone he speaks to seems very receptive.
Okay.
He goes, we should have third party. Yeah, good idea, third party. And he goes, yeah, so tomorrow during the elections, you should vote third party. Oh yeah, third party. It's like everything is like stupid keywords, these people. They're all just, they're fish brains. You know,
And I
everything-
say, shoe shine, the vision of the future, in undercommon.
you had a vision? He goes,
The vision of the future.
and he just gets, like you've seen a million times, Manchurian Candidate. You know, it's like, as he repeats the lie, he gets more confident in the lie. He's like,
Sure.
I had a vision. Vision! And so he starts making little waves in town, and then, you know, once in a while you'll see somebody that you're like, he's eyeballing us a little too rough, you know. And like you said, you can calm emotions down or do whatever. But you've been allowed to operate, and so you're walking the town trying to, like, impress the people.
Yeah.
Okay?
Again, I'll just continuously give him guidance to up his, his public speaking.
Like,
and
you
his
can
persuasion.
cast cantrips all you want, but doing it for hours on end is exhausting work.
Sure, of
Going
course.
door to door, and not only that, you're door to door to fish.
Right.
So, like, you can't even be sure that the fish that he's talking, you really gotta do this. Isn't the fish you just talked to 10 minutes ago?
Right.
You're like, isn't that the same fish? And you're saying it to a fish man, and then Shushar goes, I have no idea, they all look the same.
I say that as racist and accurate.
Shoe shark should know the difference.
And there's that situation where you go, third party, and they go, third party, and you go, we're tomorrow's election, elections, and you go, but seriously, tomorrow, third party. And then he's like walking toward a wall, and you go, God damn, he's asleep.
Yeah.
You're literally trying to convince a guy who's sleepwalking.
Okay.
And he's even sleepwalking, he's repeating
Oh my
the
God,
buzzwords.
I have since modified the slogan. Third party is the vision of the future.
Third parties, there's
I'm just going to keep repeating it in undercommon.
this place sucks.
Oh my God. Now anybody who's walking by and sleeping, I'm going to whisper it to them.
Yeah.
Third party is the vision of the future.
You're in the middle, it says, vision. As they're wandering around.
One liner.
Everything's buzzwords. All right, that's what you do for the day. He's gone. He's gone. You two don't speak undercommon, and the bird has told you he's taking care of the boats. So that's what happens.
All right.
And James, like you said, you hear good things about this prince of the Elven Kingdom,
Okay.
but he's not coming back to town yet. They're building boats. What else do you guys want to do?
Do we need to heal, or is that just a given?
At
I
night,
need to heal.
you guys can heal, so take your full hit dice. We're doing something slightly different with healing, James. We're notching down everything a little bit. Basically, and you know in 5e rules, if you have a full night's rest, you just heal to full.
Yeah.
Instead, with a full night's rest, you can roll your hit dice, right? But if you're doing a full night's rest and you just roll your hit dice, they're not consuming your hit dice, like being on a short rest would,
Okay.
right?
Well, I also got
And-
healing prayer.
Sure, and that's magical healing. And you'll gain a hit dice as long as you've eaten. So over days of correctly eating and sleeping, you'll not only regain all your hit dice, you'll literally be healing every night. But just the exhaustion of the Underdark and the travel is letting your sleep be unoptimal. But you can go ahead and heal full, or heal your whatever. So her natural healing is 46, and his natural healing is 40-10. But it's not infinite full heal.
Yeah.
15. So I'm
Okay.
at 25.
You still add your con bonus 4 times.
Plus 5 is 20, so I'm back up.
Right. No, yeah, plus 5 per dice.
Well, I'm
You
back
can't
up
have
to
a
normal.
plus 5. No, that's
Oh, you
your
don't have
save.
those?
You have a 3 con.
plus-
So 3, 6, 9, 12. So you're getting 12 plus what you rolled.
I rolled 15 plus
Right,
12.
so 27. So you basically heal the full because you have a high con value. Anyone with a high con value is still going to get basically full healing. But you could roll straight ones and not have a good night of healing.
And when do these reset?
You're not losing these hit dice. As long as you're sleeping, you're getting...
You just can roll all 4 and
it shouldn't be that complicated, but I don't think I'm explaining it well. If you haven't eaten and you want to sleep, you will get to spend some number of hit dice. Okay? But if you have eaten, you get to take maximum hit dice, not pay for it, and regain a hit dice.
Okay. So I can roll all 4
All
right
4,
now,
yep.
and then I would be
Yep,
back
it's
at
full
4.
rest and you've eaten, so you just get to have the 4 for free. And that's going to be independent of your hit dice going down when you burn them and up when you rest.
Okay.
Yeah, 4d12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus or con
You
4
did.
times.
So I'm probably gonna
Plus
get all of
12
it
from your
back,
con
yeah.
alone.
17.
So again, you basically will heal to full. If you weren't even under half,
Yeah.
you just expect you're going to go to full. But that way, it's not full healing, but it's a lot of healing. There's still a lot of healing, but it's not just full healing. If you were at 1 health and you rolled bad, you might only get 60% of your life back.
Yeah.
Okay,
Bring this one back.
moving on.
Move along.
Moving on. So we know what you're doing. We know what he's doing. What are you ladies doing?
So
Do
we
you
can't
want-
really help campaign because we can't.
And he speaks under common. He's doing his own
Do you have any
thing.
mushrooms?
And he told you he's going to go to Jim Jar and Darendale, and they're going to make boats. So you have this cache of boats. But you may still want to barter with the fish people to have official boats.
Yeah, you said official.
Official boats. You mean official boats? No, official boats.
Trust the mushrooms. Trust the
How do we do that if we can't speak their language?
I don't know.
Trust the mushrooms.
You bring spore, you bring stool, or you ask them if they have a way to speak common.
Oh. I want to try to convince them to sniff stool.
That's like saying, how do I buy a baguette in Paris if I don't speak French?
I mean, it's a little bit different because if
You
you're
pointed a baguette.
in the store, yeah.
And you offer
but
them
You point at boat and you go, boat.
money.
How much? Boat. So think of it like that. You're not, there's not otherworldly, it's just a different language.
Did you write down money?
Did
We don't
go?
have any money.
You guys did find some money.
I thought we found the bank receipt.
You did find a bank receipt as well.
No,
I
that
didn't write it
doesn't.
down.
They have an official Dwarven ledger for a city they're not in.
Okay.
So if they can ever get to that city, they don't know what's in that bank vault, but they have a bank receipt.
And it's the
Okay.
city that we're specifically not going to.
Oh, which city is it?
Because
It's
far away.
oh, Gauntlgrim. Okay, it's the Dwarven city of Gauntlgrim.
Guattlegum? Guattlegum?
That's
Gobble, gobble.
Gauntlgrim. Gauntle.
Guattlegum?
You knew what I was saying.
Okay.
But isn't it like
Two
gauntlet?
different
I thought
nerds
it was
here
pronounced
playing
Guattlegum.
two different
Could be.
facts. Okay.
Yes.
Let the fight begin.
Gobble,
To the death.
gleam.
I thought the keyword was gauntlet.
Gauntlgrab
Gauntlet.
or
Get some
Wong
caffeine.
Wong.
Guattlegum.
To the
Wong
death.
Wong.
Let's go now.
Oh no.
We fight. Okay, so what do you want to do? You want to try to
Shrooms.
barter?
Shrooms.
Shrooms? You bring the spore with you? Sareth goes, you're not going anywhere unless I go with you, because I'm not letting the little spore go.
Good. We got
Okay, come on.
So I'll go with
protection
you.
for us.
Yeah, right.
He goes, besides, how would you communicate that without me translating?
But then doesn't he know Undercommon?
Yes! That's what he's
There we
now
go.
saying. He's like, besides, how are you going to communicate without me translating for you?
Oh, okay.
Sareth
That's
being your
easier.
translator is the perfect solution here.
Okay.
He goes, I need
Let's
to
go,
get out of here.
Spore. Seraph.
Stool, spare.
You too.
Sareth. Freaking Sareth.
And he comes with you. Now, you did not want to kill him, right?
No.
I don't think you said you wanted to kill him, right?
No.
Yeah.
I think from your perspective, he's reasonably pleasant. Yeah, he doesn't join the fight, but from your perspective, you're always running in and you're the fight. He's just another of the people behind you. So
Yeah.
you're not seeing the frustration of he's not joining the fight. And the
I haven't
one
really
fight
looked
that
back
was
to see
really
that.
dangerous, his acid airs were killing a bunch of people. It's just that when fighting those fish people, he stood off.
Yeah.
We're trying to make him friendly again. Can't kill nobody.
Well, I just don't think he's hostile with everyone.
I'm trying to be an angry bird over here now.
Yeah.
Sucker.
I want to be the red one. I want to be the red one.
Grackle.
I like the exploding guys myself.
All right.
Whatever
So he comes
color
with
they
you.
were.
And he goes, yes, fish are quite easy to barter with. In fact, their entire economy is currently based around navigating the Dark Lake and convincing the other people of the Underdark that they need Kuo-toa boats. Because the Kuo-toa can swim. They don't need boats. They don't need harbors. And yet if you look, there's a thriving port. Who is it for? Because it's not them. It's for outsiders. This is specifically what the city is based around. They're hoping that outsiders come and barter for their boats. They build them for us. He's like, so if they don't have any sails, they'll sell to you for a penny. They got nothing else to do. He's like, they're poor, they're broke. He's like, and with this war going on, I doubt they got a lot of trade right now. He's like, we can offer them anything, and they'll probably accept.
All right.
Okay.
But what do we have to offer?
Take the mushroom boats.
Michael Jackson glove.
Can I try to
You
come?
do have
Well, no, he has that.
Oh, that was his, yeah.
You have something
he's-
else sparkly.
It's in our.
You don't have his inventory.
That bird has it, and he said you could have it.
Sparkly sequined one-hand glove.
You can promise his glove to them, but you don't
Yeah.
have it.
There we go.
Could I try to convince them that sniffing the stool
No.
helps them?
Yeah. They're fish. You can convince them of a lot of things. All right, so you walk up to the boat harbor area. Mm-hmm. Okay. Some Kuo-toa come out of a little shack.
Yeah.
They look mean and pissed off, and Seraph will be like, "Oh, great, they're in a good mood today."
That's exactly what I thought. Yeah.
Okay.
So can I just tell Sarah like what to tell them?
Do whatever you want.
Okay. Sarah, tell them this. We would like to trade you good health. And good health comes from sniffing this guy right here.
Telepathy.
You
Not
get-
good health. Telepathy.
You get
Okay.
a better immune system. You get better digestion.
What's it full infomercial here?
It lowers your depression. And you get telepathy.
Side effects include death,
Specifically
death,
telepathy.
and chance of death. So obviously, Sarah
There's
starts
puppies
out
bounding
resistant to this idea
in the
'cause
backside
it's so dumb.
of this commercial.
But his point was, I can convince them to do everything we want. They're so desperate. And so he just hears it and goes, all right, let's try it. And he goes to the thing and he just goes, "Rawr, rawr," says something to them. I guess he's not speaking fish. He's just speaking undercommon. Yeah, he passes.
Good.
And he basically says, you're going to trade us boats, and we're going to pay you with these spores. And he goes, well, what do the spores do? And he goes, you got to try it. And he goes,
Ooh.
and now you guys can speak straight into the fish's brain.
And I'm like, it's good, right?
And he goes, holy shit. There's the thing, like, it can project his thoughts directly into you, but there's this understanding gap between fish and humans, and this bypasses that. He goes, wow, we can totally communicate like this. I gotta get my buddies to get some. And he's
Now
like,
you'll
all
be able
right.
to
So
catch
how
any
many?
prisoners."
But now he's looking at Stool, saying, so how much of him do we get? Like chop off pieces of him?
Oh.
And he's like, I'm gonna get some pieces of Stool. And Sarah goes, no. This stuff is way too valuable. You're just gonna get some snorts. And he goes, all right. How long does this last? And that's where the lie comes in. So what do you want Sarah to say?
Forever.
Forever, yeah.
Forever, yeah.
What
He's
do you
like-
mean? That's
he's
what
like-
I thought.
He's like, all right, I'll go for it. And he goes, oh, it lasts forever. Anybody you can get on board? And no, he says something like, as long as we don't...
As long as we don't get killed.
Yeah,
Because we're controlling him.
exactly.
And if we die,
Mm-hmm.
that power dies.
He goes, I'm in control of the spore, and the spore is in control of the magic.
And I am
So,
too.
yes,
I am
and
too.
he's like, she is also in control. Our whole group partakes. So as long as none of us die, And there's 3 of the Kuatoa, they're called navigators, Kuatoa navigators. They're the ones who professionally transfer up and down the Dark Lake with their boats. And 3 of them come and go, and they get convinced. 1. The 3rd one's not so sure.
Uh-oh.
2 of them are in, and 1 of them goes, I don't know. And he says some of the things like, well, we need money to buy food. And he has to be convinced that, well, that can't be the only
He's a
thing we
little
get.
more level-headed than the other 2.
Yeah. Well, he's just being bottom line. He's like, you can sell me magic s'mores, but I can't eat magic beans,
Don't you
right?
have like a little?
I still need some money. I need some
I
food
get
for my
it.
family.
I get it.
I got kids to feed.
Would you take a sequin glove?
He snorts it.
Would you take a sequin glove?
He goes, Now, does it actually say it has any gems or value? It just said sequined, right?
I think so. Just sequined.
Yeah, okay. He goes, yeah,
It's
I can sell
sparkly.
the sequin glove to the Smurf Nerblins.
We can give you a sequin glove.
Deal. I'm in. Totally passes.
Cool.
So the 3 of these guys have their own boats. Probably, he goes, well, how big is your party? How many boats do we need?
How many are we down to now?
Can we squeeze into 2 boats, or do we need 3 boats?
4, 5,
3 boats.
6.
He says 3 boats is a stretch. We can definitely get 2 boats.
Okay. How many people fit in a boat?
I think 6 comfortably. You can squeeze more, but 6 would be comfortable. So 2 boats can hold 12 people.
I say 2 is good.
Are you guys over 12 people? Or
No.
Are you guys over 10 people?
I think I've got
Darendale's big, so he needs like 2. And then Jim Jar's 3. Buppado's 4. Shushar's probably not going. And then the bird is 5.
But he can fly too.
Lauren is not to travel the Dark Lake.
Yes, he can.
Lauren is 6, 7, 8,
It's always under
Sareth and Shroom.
9. Shroom doesn't count. So you guys are around 10 people.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
2
but
boats.
4 of them are small. So
Yeah, and 1's big. So you guys are fine. You'll fit in 2 boats easily. Okay.
Yeah,
so
2
you
boats
guys
for a sequin
parlay
glove.
for 2 boats, and they say absolutely for 2 boats. We'll travel, and if all goes successful and none of your people get killed, you owe us a sequined glove. And that
All
way,
right.
when we're all done with this traversing, he's like, "How far are you guys trying to go?"
Across the lake.
Okay, that's as far as you guys need to go, just across the lake. Toward
Yep.
what city?
Blingdenstone.
Toward Blingdenstone. He goes, all right, that's all the way across.
Yep. That's what I said, all the way across the lake.
Okay, no problem.
Across.
He's like, we'll do it. So they say they're in for a sequin glove, 2 boats. They got it. You have 3 navigators and 2 boats.
All right.
Plus all the spores they can snort.
Yeah, plus the spores that they think are actually going to give them magic powers for the rest of their lives.
Still bringing a mushroom with us.
Yeah.
It's a buoy. Working
All right.
hard on those shrooms.
But you find Sereth isn't so bad. He's almost pleasant. He's snarky and annoying and doesn't want to get killed and doesn't really want to participate in combat. But neither does Shushar. Shushar's just a little more upfront about it.
It's my phone, it's good. It's okay.
All right. Anything else for the day? You guys are all done?
That's it.
All right. So you come back from building mushroom boats.
No, we're hiding out in the wings.
You gonna
aren't we?
stay with them?
Just kind of watching off to the side to see how this election thing goes,
Okay. So you'll just wait outside of town.
in case we need to cut a path and help the friends out, so we can
Sure.
escape quickly.
So you're like a south flank.
Exactly.
All right.
We're closer to the water.
It is the morning of the election. Anything you guys gonna do before the election itself? They do it the physical way. They're gonna say this is the evil Kotoa. She stands basically there, and then we have our guy. He stands in a different corner, and then Shushar stands in a third corner. So they're all spread out about as corner to corner to corner they can be. And then all the people fill this main plaza. There's about 100 of them. But what naturally happens is that, they'll come out and everybody's kind of on guard, right? But, what's his name? Plupupine begins by saying, "We are going to do the suggestion of the outsider fish. We will have elections." And everyone goes, "Oh, elections." And he goes, now, it is a chance for us to express our real desire to change. Or not to change. He goes, now, stand in the middle, and after the 3 speeches, wait for the 3 speeches to finish, and then go toward the person that you want to be in charge, and then we'll know. We have exactly 100 fish. Okay? And he goes, but wait till the speeches! And then he looks around and he sees that her pile of people are all in front of her, and his pile of people are all in front of his. And he goes, no, you have to spread about, mix up. You can't have it be so obvious. Like, they're already in their little cliques.
Yeah.
So he at least has the foresight to say, no, break it up, spread around, move about. Everybody will be wherever. That way you don't feel so forced to go with your group, right?
Yeah.
He goes, and then when the speeches are over, you'll walk to your whatever, right? And so they give the speeches.
Well, I'm going to set up Zone of Truth.
Okay. You zone of truth the whole area.
Oh, damn it. It's a 15-foot spear
Oh.
for 10 minutes. So when this person's speaking, I'm going to do one there. And when he's speaking, I'm going to do one there. And I'm not going to Zone of Truth him.
Okay. And it's a level 1 or level 2 spell,
Level 2.
and you can cast it twice.
Mhm.
But that'll be basically your 2 spells for the
Yep.
day. Okay. So it's a bit of resources, but you can definitely do it.
Yep.
So
And
first,
I'm going to give him, when he does his speaking,
Guidance,
I'm going to
yeah.
give him a bonus
Yeah,
to
yeah.
his roll.
so Plupupine goes, I will speech first. And the fish like, and he basically says, I have been in charge of the way things have always been. They've always been. He goes, and I'm not going to change anything. It's just kind of like this dead comment, like,
Yeah.
and he goes, and my opponent wants to murder all of us. And everyone's like, oh, that's bad. But I want to stay exactly the same. And they go, oh, that's bad. And he's doing your argument for you.
Yeah.
Just 2 bad choices. And he goes, and then the third option, third choice. So he doesn't even argue against the third option. He just says, keep it the way it's always been or murder everyone. So you're like, I don't know.
I tell our dude, ask questions. Force him to say a lie.
Well, it's not a debate.
I'm still going to say shout questions. What will you do about this? Or what will you do about this?
Yeah, give me a question. What do you shout?
All right. Well, I'm going to tell our dude here. I'm going to tell Shoeshine that ask when our numbers tear us apart, what are we going to do when the drow come for us? Or when the mind flayers come to all eat us?
Yeah. Did we remember to follow through on trying to make his platform slightly taller?
Yeah, I mean,
Let's say we
wanted
did.
to.
Let's say we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has like extra platforms on his
Sure.
thing, and they're all looking around like, he's taller than them. And it's making them subconscious, like, hey, why aren't I taller than him? What the hell? What gives? And they're all trying to like get taller.
Yeah.
And all the little fish are like, but he shouts out questions like, what about the other factions that'll kill us? And then, his answer is the stupidest answer. Plupupine goes, we will do as we have always done. Nothing!
I say,
Because there's always some new usurper. We will stick with our faith.
no, wait. We no, it's slightly bigger.
It's slightly taller.
Oh,
Base.
really?
That's huge. We put the guy on top of several buildings.
Yeah. So this thing is like a raised platform, and his thing's like a raised platform, and then his is like an even more raised platform.
He's a
Like
whole
you guys
D6
just went and
tall.
added like another 2 2x4s to their little raised platform.
I mean, we've got big
All right.
Creative.
So now Blooplapod is going to give her a speech.
All right, I got the questions for her already ready.
Blooplapod, and you've cast the Zone of Truth, right?
Yep.
Blooplapod goes, I represent a new way because I have had a vision. You'll go, vision. And she goes, the Deep Father Lumagugoon has told me that he will awaken soon, and he will come to our village, and we will destroy the heretics, and we will have a new order. And she just screams, we're gonna murder all those jerks, and we're gonna take over. She just lets it on out.
Okay.
Again, you're like, they're just doing their job for us. His choice is leave things exactly the way they were and do absolutely nothing. And her job is completely upend entire society and murder everyone.
Yep.
And the fish are like,
I tell him to ask the people that sell the boats and do the commerce. Have they seen? Are they poor now? And are they, what are those people doing at this moment? Because nobody's coming. If you kill,
the economy's going to die.
if you kill everybody you trade with,
Right.
what's going to happen?
Right. So he shouts out, "What about the economy?" Right? In their fish language of "What about the economy?" And she goes, "When Labor Gogoon comes, we won't need an economy." And they're like, So it's the same idea. Her plan sucks, and his plan sucks.
Woo! I tell him, all right, you just got a nut suck.
Yeah, it's like, this could work. Everybody's got that tingle of, this could actually work. So yeah, there's no one. Any more questions? She goes, "A vision! A vision!" So that's her speech.
I shout out, now tell us about your vision of the future.
She's like, "Burn them!" Oh yeah, vision of the future.
Yeah.
And then Shushar goes, "I also had a vision. A vision!" And everyone's like, "Oh, he also had a vision?" And then you're like, "He is the vision." This is James, like
Yeah.
the shithead jumping in, like, and you're like, when they're speaking and you're like mouthing the words, like, because you've already rehearsed the speech, and you give him guidance, and he basically, in fish language, semi-articulately lays out, well, if option 1 is terrible and option 2 is terrible, we need option 3. And all I have to do is not be terrible. He's like, we're going to change from the old ways because they let us stagnate and die. But we're not going to murder everyone because then we're going to die. All we're going to do is not do those things. And everyone's like, "Arr, arr, arr." You see they're like pigeons, right? They're all like, "Arr, arr, 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 arr." And he gives his speech with guidance. That means he gets an extra D4, right? I'm going to roll it. Let's see how well he does. A 1 and a 6. Not great. But the whole point, the whole process was to lower the standard needed to be just fine, right? And she has admitted that we're going to murder everyone or we're going to do absolutely nothing. And he gives his speech. And, like, the little heads are all looking at him like, "Ah."
Wait. Doesn't guiding bolt give you an advantage, or is that only on a fight?
That's an attack roll. It lights up their bodies so you can stab them.
No. Just checking.
You want to set off, like,
Oh, it is
divine
only for
fireworks?
attacks. Yeah,
Divine
no.
fireworks?
I was just seeing if I give him advantage on the roll, but I can't.
Yeah.
So
he goes, we're gonna move into the future. We're gonna act like the other races and elevate our society and get out of the water.
Embrace diversity.
Right, embrace diversity and not be stagnant.
Sell the boat.
So everybody's chattering.
Sell the boat.
And then Poopopine goes,
Sell the
okay, vote with your feet, go out of your person.
Sell the boats.
And
Sell the boats.
Glooglog, the high priest that you guys have talked with, he comes over to Shushar.
I tell him.
I mean, no, the crowd's like walking around.
Yeah. I say we, and under comment, we have the vision of the future. It's prosperity.
And Glooglog, the high priest, goes, I believe in the future.
Yes.
So the high priest of Poopopine, comes to you guys. And Klibdalulgut, he goes, I also believe in the vision of the future. Woo! And the high priest of their faction comes over to your thing.
Sell the
And
On
then
the boats.
all 98 others split between the two groups.
98? Split?
Yes.
What?
The two high priests were convinced, and all the other fish just follow their leader.
Okay.
Okay.
So you now have 48 lizard fish here, and 48
47
fish.
and
49.
47.
Yes, 47 and
49.
47. Well, no, 48, 48, and 2.
49,
Okay.
Yeah.
49, and 2.
Okay.
Yes. 49, 49, and 2.
Okay.
And it's like that heartbreaking moment where, like, there's just no getting through to these stupid fish people. Even their high priests, because you communicate with them directly and you convince them, they can be convinced one-on-one, but as a mass, they just can't be turned. And you look at Shushar, and he's, like, so excited. He's like, that was a better turnout we've ever seen.
Excellent.
Aw, positivity. Positivity.
We got 2% of the vote.
Hey, that takes away from the other two.
There you go. So,
Rossborough is rolling around in his grave right fucking now. I'm just saying.
Ooh, throwback.
Where was Ross?
so as the dust settles,
Do they
You have stripped
cast
them of their high
colored
priests.
stones into a cauldron?
you've
vote?
stripped them of their high priests. But Sloobludop just lets out the cry, like, enough of this nonsense. It's murder time. And she basically says, get them and let's sacrifice them. But it's pretty clear, just where they're standing. You have your little army of people, plus 2 high priests, plus Shushar.
Yep.
They have their 48 fish, and they have their 48 fish. So,
49.
yeah, when these 49 fish say, go kill those people, and then those 49 fish go, no, don't kill those people, it doesn't become a you get strung up, which is very important, right? There's no mob around
Sure.
you. The mobs just clash. And so you have this open, stabbing and fighting, and it just basically breaks out into a fight. And over the next
Excellent.
5 minutes, the squabbling just becomes exactly what you'd expect it to be. It's this squabbling mayhem, and they start stabbing each other. There's blood on the streets, and as they start grabbing people, they start taking them over to the altar and just flinging them into the altar. And you're fairly safe because someone would have to wander over and work through 12 people.
Run to the boats. I'm over here.
Get to the chopper now.
Get to the chopper.
Minute with my shrooms.
Get to the chopper.
Stop playing the game with them. Don't play into the trap.
I'm gonna have to drop some reality on these chumps.
So,
You mean you didn't put the truth serum in the water?
Right?
dun, 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 dun. So Sloobludop says, bring all the sacrifices to the altar, and then as they start throwing fish people in, and there's this big mayhem, you see a number of these worshippers dancing around the little ritual altar, and they're doing their little sacrifice dance because that's what they do every day. They find people to sacrifice, even though they haven't sacrificed you guys yet. They're sacrificing stuff. Their chanting grows louder, and where does it say?
Kill the fish. Kill the
Squish
fish.
the fish.
Squish the fish. Squish the fish. Both sides are chanting it.
As the water foams red with blood, where does it say?
Squishing the fishing.
Another no. They are Ixachachil.
Wow.
Ooh. I've heard that before. Is that like birds of something?
No, they
I
are.
think it's something that's similar to another thing that is real. It says they're in Index C. Yeah, there's Quetzalcoatl, and these are Ixolotl.
They look like manta rays.
Right. Where do I find them? This says Appendix C.
But I wouldn't know.
Is there a picture? There you go. That is an Ixolotl. It's like a flying
It's like a
demon
moth manta ray.
Now that picture is a vampiric one. I don't think these are vampiric ones. These are regular ones. They're small, monstrous fish. Can they even walk on land?
They fly. I think they fly and swim.
Aquatic creatures resembling manta rays with small clawed hands at the end of their wings and black eyes gleaming with sinister intelligence.
Do we have
They can be mistaken for common manta rays, but this can prove a deadly
We got one or
mistake.
two in the Underdark.
They're evil and cunning, and they lead to the common nickname of Demon Ray. And they inhabit the bodies of fresh and salt water, but their violent nature means that little is known of them. It doesn't say whether they fly.
It's got to have their movement.
It doesn't even have a movement section.
What?
Yep. Well, speed. 30-foot swim, 0-foot movement. So no, they're all in the water. So you just start noticing there's this red bubbling foam all in the water. And as any of the people get thrown, because rather than being cut open and bled out on the altar, a lot of them are getting thrown in. And it's almost like there's a pool of piranhas. They're just getting eaten up by the piranhas.
Piranhas. I know what those are.
Yeah, well, they're not piranhas. I'm just saying. They're acting as if there's a bunch of piranhas in the water. Yeah, those things. I think that's
exactly it, dude.
Yeah.
That's exactly. We got one.
So
If they go to throw my guide in there from before,
the guide in before would
Hemeth?
be, yeah, you're absolutely right. That's a
I
good
cast
point.
sanctuary on him. So
That's a great point. They would have brought him out from the jail room, and they would have been walking him up to the altar, and they go, "We have an outsider. Sacrifice the outsider."
I cast sanctuary.
Tell me what sanctuary does.
Basically, they got to make a save to attack or hurt him. Otherwise,
Right, but can they still move him?
They can move him, but they can't like.
Well, they're just
attack.
dragging him to the altar and throwing him in the ocean.
I think that counts as an attack.
Well, that's the thing, does it?
You won't cast spells. You won't do harm. Give me that PHP, please. Somebody else. Player's handbook.
Sanctuary. You ward a creature within range against attack until the spell sends any creature who targets the warded creature with an attack or harmful spell.
I mean, sanctuary was made so that
Sanctuary.
you can move around in a fight, especially like a priest, and not be attacked. People wouldn't do you harm. You can still get every effect, but the idea is do you harm.
Right, and it lasts a minute, and it doesn't have an area, right?
It's one person.
Well, it is tough because if they're already preceding him down a path, they would still have their hands around him. But normally, if you try to grab someone, you make a touch attack on them. So this is definitely saying the touch attack will have this test, right? So they can't grab him, and if he resists and pulls back, and they're trying to grab him, they'll fail to grab him. So when you put this sanctuary on him, and really all he needs is some instinct to pull away and try to fight his proceeders. Because I could see someone like not opposing being walked off a cliff, but in this case, yeah, he doesn't want to get killed. So, but you're doing it way up here in town, right? Nowhere near the altar.
Yeah.
The walk
once
of
I see
shame.
him,
Yeah, he's a range of 30. So you
He
get
doesn't
close
want to do the
enough
walk
to you
of
be able to
shame.
hear, but you put sanctuary on him, and then he starts to resist, and they can't grab him because of this thing. And it's they have to make a wisdom check, right?
I think it's a wisdom save.
The nearby jailers both fail,
Okay,
so
cool.
they can't grab him, and that gives him the ability to get away.
I will get him.
This way. He absolutely runs over to you guys, and you find a way to get him,
I cut him loose.
cut him loose.
I still have my weapon, so I'll cut him loose.
All right, we have the big bad bish over on the altar. She is a whip, I think. All right, they can actually cast spells. Dun, 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 dun.
It was just. I can post this. Just hold it.
We can't really do anything.
You jinxed it.
They have some basic dumb spells.
Basic
It's so hard, but then I started having to focus.
Get it, yeah.
I feel like I could turn this into a big battle, but it doesn't make as much sense. Like the factions are so divided that there's no reason for us to get into like a slugfest without there being 50 other fish with you.
Go
You know,
diceless.
right? Exactly. I think that your objectives now, when you work toward your objective, the question is really what is directly in your way. And she has been saying, we need sacrifices! And her people are just stabbing each other, and they're settling for the lowest hanging fruit, for either grabbing other fish people and throwing them in the ocean. Those Itzikatls are killing everybody that hits the water. And then they thought they had a sacrifice, so they're bringing him out, and once you sanctuary him, her little posse goes, we need a sacrifice! And so they're going
I
to
shout out, say command, me! Hopefully she fails. I'm going to command her to say me. Come on, baby, do it.
So
do
you
it.
command her to
To
say
say it, me! Oh, damn it. Fucking
You
20.
feel the same way your god can inspire you. You feel the presence of an opposing god like smacking you down.
Okay.
You get this splitting mental headache as
Tell me.
it's not like a booming voice, but it feels to you as if a booming voice literally just said knock it off, but it's mental, you know? And so, but that for you is like a lasting impression. Like you felt it. And that gives you this impression that like her God was not fake. Her God is not
I
a
did
bluff.
question that, yeah.
It is very real. You feel it hard. And you need to roll on the madness chart. I don't know
Save?
what you roll. I will find that pretty
Old school
quickly.
used to be like a wisdom typey thing.
It
but
probably is the wisdom save.
I rolled a 13.
You need to wisdom save anytime blah blah happens.
You just keep
I
going.
said I was gonna post that on our
We're trying to get
story, and right
posts
when I
here.
said that, it fell.
It literally.
Well, Lauren, do it as a video.
You can have one or more characters
It's
make
over
a
there.
saving throw against madness.
Thank you.
So what would have been a will save for sure, and what would you say?
I rolled a
Come on, let's go.
13,
I
and
can
my
do it.
wisdom,
Same
I got plus 3 for my wisdom, so
Probably fine.
16.
Yeah, you
If there's
probably.
proficiency bonus, 18.
All right, so you roll well.
Nothing's ever been that funny.
Snorter over here.
So you see a maddening event, but you resist it,
Okay.
and that's just that her kind of God has reinforced that, like, you know,
Sure.
my will be done,
Good.
and you feel that like mental anguish, and then she apparently is bolstered on by it. She's like, yes, he's speaking to me, he's coming. And she just starts frothing at the mouth and yelling. And there needs to be a sacrifice, and like you said, sacrifice her. She just jumps into the ocean.
Okay.
She goes, he's coming! And you just, there's just blood.
Excellent.
They eat her to pieces.
Yay!
Yay.
Huzzah!
All right, what do you guys want to do immediately?
Get out of town.
Yeah, getting the boats.
How-
out here. This
People
is
destroy
How are you going to do that?
fish tards over here.
We are on that edge. We were just going.
Boats.
Actually, we're gonna go. Yeah, we're gonna get the one boat we secured and
Two
then take
boats.
it to the other boats.
Two boats. Two boats here, mushroom boats over there.
Yeah, we're gonna get in the boats here.
So you guys haul ass for the
Yeah.
pier.
Dock.
Yeah.
Shushar goes, my people will be unified. It's going to be great. Third party at 2%. I have so much hope for the future. And you guys basically tell him, well, we're getting the F out of here. And he goes, yes, we will be good. We will be good. He's looking at this murderous frenzy.
Yeah.
And he goes, it's so good. He's like, it's so great. We have such a path forward.
Yeah.
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 I quickly tell them the legend of my people and the when they tried that with Rothelius Paradius
Yeah.
and how he failed, but he still did a whopping 10%.
And then, of course, as he sees her suicide herself, he's like, this is going to be great. We're gonna heal from this. We'll be able to heal
Actually,
from
with
this.
her jumping in, they might.
Because they can heal themselves, right?
You're right.
They're magical
No, he's magical.
healers.
They can't.
Oh, just him.
Just him.
So you can go around door to
But
door.
you're, of course, seeing, pillaging, looting, murder,
Oh,
and
good
the place
deal.
catching on fire. But he's like, this is great. This is a turning point for us. And as you guys start running down to the dock, the problem is that he may not be correct because there is a rumbling. And as you guys hit your boat and you jump in, these guys are over here in the other boat. Where's our mini? Give me the mini.
Mini what?
Give me the mini.
Oh,
Really?
no.
Which
It's
one are
that
you mini?
guy.
You got two minis. You want the one on the left or the right?
Jubilant?
The
That's
left
your Unigo.
mini.
The one on the left, even?
Yes.
Unigo? It's Unigo, right? Isn't that his name?
Numinous.
Limugugun. You hear the bubbling, and out of the pile
yeah.
of cicadas and out of the bubbling water, and right where she threw herself, this head starts to emerge
She
out of the
just
water.
sacrificed herself. What does he want?
We're in the boat.
And you
Swim
go,
away. I'm
"Wah!" Yeah, you guys are jumping in the boat, and this thing is stomping up the coast and just letting out this thing. And you hear the chanters going, Limugugan, Limugugan. And as he just walks forward, he'll just step on them, fling them around. Like, he doesn't care. They're worshiping him. He just kills them. He just splat, splat, splat. He just starts whack-a-moling fish people. And just, like, he is so massive, he can just, like, throw houses. and he just starts destroying the city.
Excellent.
And so Shushar's like, we have a path for, well, maybe not.
Mistakes for me.
I regret nothing.
Forget nothing. And he's like, once we survive this, we'll be great. Unification. So, but it just starts shattering. You know, the people that are running around, they're all just scattering. This is, you guys instantly recognize it. Even if you didn't understand what you recognize, spiritually you recognize it. This is Demigorgon. So they were getting close with their fish tongue. But this is one of the demon princes of the underworld.
Move along with that.
Isn't this a madness check?
Absolutely. Madness checks for everyone.
Seeing bro coming out of the water.
Yeah. Demogorgon exits the water. Everyone has to roll madness. Everybody roll a wisdom check.
That's the one I'm gonna fail.
Right, the important one.
Wisdom -1.
You fail.
14.
You fail.
I fail on a 14.
Yeah.
20 plus my wisdom bonus.
Good.
So
You're like, I was
23.
expecting this.
told you.
He just smacked you in the face. Demigorgon was the one saying, no. Because he's like waiting around the corner, like, I'm going to get there. And you're like, yeah. It's like, no.
So what are we doing here?
Madness checks.
20?
Wisdom save. Yeah.
Yep.
Wisdom save. You need 15.
Oh, I got a
Well, my
Plus
wisdom
your
is.
wisdom.
Plus your wisdom bonus.
0.
So
It
you
was
fail.
a saving throw, right?
It's a saving throw.
So I won.
Oh.
14
You got
plus 2.
Fine, a
16.
16.
So this side table wins that table.
+2.
Oh, I got 16. I passed.
All right.
Fine.
Yay.
3 out of 4.
So just
Ain't
sticking
that
out.
Lauren, you have
good?
madness. This madness is going to last D10 minutes. 8 minutes.
Ooh.
You have 8 minutes of madness. At the sight of the Demigorgon, you go nutso. The problem is that the Out of the Abyss book, which you've paid for on DungeonsandDragons.com, says to look at the DMG for what 8 minutes of madness does, and we don't have access to that book.
Oh, so it just doesn't count.
Isn't it on the shelf out front?
Maybe. I don't think we have a DMG here in the book.
What?
I don't think we do. We have a monster manual and a handbook. Because why would I need the bonus notes when I've been GMing for 25 years? All it has is magic items.
Ladle.
However, whatever this madness is, it is going to result in a problem for the party as far as getting on that boat goes.
Just for her.
Oh no.
She's the only one going crazy.
Can we just
So sorry.
Can we just restrain her?
Oh, yeah.
She can go out kicking and
Just-
screaming, but she's going.
Throw me off the side of the boat.
But she's a tiny little thing.
8
That's
minutes
true, yeah.
of raving madness. Now, how do you want...
Raging madness.
Yeah,
Just
rage.
jump on
You
the
absolutely would enrage. And then because you're rage land, you're probably stabbing yourself the whole time.
Oh no.
You don't want to rage land, you need raging madness.
No.
So what do you think would be the most annoying thing you can do with 8 minutes of insanity?
Most annoying.
You want to go give this guy a hug? That would be unuseful to the party.
I mean, probably trying to keep the boat here, like pulling on the
You're
boat.
like, oh, look at
Like,
now!
we shouldn't
Meet
go
my new
yet.
boyfriend!
He's right there.
He's right there!
We call him Trent. Is
Yeah.
The Trent Gordon.
So you think the boat's made of snakes, and as they're jumping on the boat, you're like smashing the boat, and you're trying to hold the boat back?
Yeah.
So-
I tell her, get in the boat. Make a
Well,
wisdom save.
You're trying to override madness with a command?
Ooh.
At least to get her in the boat for now, yeah.
Maybe.
We can.
I see she's highly susceptible, so...
Can we like
in the
lasso
boat.
her and like?
So you guys start jumping in the boat. Everybody's jumping in the boat. You have 2 boats. You're splitting it evenly between them. And he is commanding you to get in the boat. So do your wisdom check to his command.
We need another.
Fail again, please.
Yeah,
you want to
negative
fail
1.
now.
12.
There we go. Woo!
Does that fail?
You just got a -1, too.
Well, no,
Yeah.
that's
It's
with
11.
-1.
Oh, okay.
Oh, 12.
So your madness is in effect for 8 minutes. But in the meantime, it's get in the boat and then be mad. And you're like, all right. So you jump in the boat. And now you're going to be mad in the boat. And I don't know exactly how this is going to happen, but basically the way I imagine it is that you're lashing out and your craziness. We had 2 boats where we fit in comfortably. I'm imagining the end result is somehow one of these boats is destroyed, and you're going to have to all get in one boat.
Or we got the mushrooms that we can use.
Well,
That's a separate thing with a separate group, and absolutely when we can meet up, we can do that. But as we sail away from Demogorgon with 2 well-balanced boats, she is going to thrash out, destroy, eat one. She already thought a human was a turkey leg. It ate him for 6 days. Ended up in the Underdark. So we see her on a bad bender, but this is madness-driven by Demogorgon.
And we can't do anything to stop her from destroying the boat.
You
She's the
need to
smallest
stop
person in the
her.
thing.
You need to stop. Well, you're not there.
I am there.
No, you're not. You're with these boats.
Oh. That's
I need to be
right.
over there.
So
I'm
push
curious how
him
the giant
over here.
demon Lord
I'm
come
about
out
to
of the water.
say, yeah, it seems like that would have been like, hey, this is the plan all along, is that we were watching in the wings to get ready to help the troops out
Yes.
if they need to get out. So
Absolutely.
why wouldn't we have met up with them?
Because you're a quarter mile away. I mean, like, you will meet up with them. But it will take less time for them to sail 20 feet this way
That
than it
sounds-
will for you to get in your thing and paddle this way and go behind a demon.
Sounds convenient. We would have been like already running towards their aid once they're lost.
But you have a boat, so you're not going to ditch your boat you just built.
We don't
That's
need
why
it.
you built the boats.
We didn't
need
build
it.
them. We bargained for them.
No, he has his
I
own
built
boats.
some just in case, but you got your bartering, and we got fed, so that was nice. I still, I mean, I don't have to be the only person. to
How do you
restrain her.
stop her from lashing out and
She's
breaking
just a
the
little
boat?
dwarf. Like anybody should be able to.
She
grab
can bug
her.
up her
Anybody
boat.
can
When she falls in
overpower
the water
her.
and she stops freaking out, we pick her up.
There you go. She doesn't need to destroy the whole boat. That seems excessive for the midget. Like to be able to like take the whole thing down with like a. Boat full
But
of
she
people.
can. She's enraged and she is stronger than you,
At
and
least
she
has to fight
she
for
can
it.
take over 100 damage and she can break the boat.
She at least
And I
has to
can
fight
help
for
her.
it.
Yeah, I'm just saying she will try to break the boat.
Anybody in the boat with her bails, gets in the other boat.
Right.
When she's done,
And she just starts Captain Sparrowing her boat into the ground.
and she just
So 8 minutes later, everyone
Daffy
else
Duck in
has,
this boat.
has gotten away from you, right? As you just lash and smash and bite and chew and kick and smash up your boat. And everyone's looking at you like, I don't want to be anywhere near her. And people are like, we should restrain her. And they're like, yeah, go for it. Swim through the devilfish.
You try that, yeah.
Go restrain her.
So we got her in the water at least, so she's not.
She's
like,
in her boat. Her boat's just been hole poked. It'll take a while for her boat to sink. And the madness wears off 8 minutes later, and you're like,
My bad.
Sorry, guys.
Oops.
Sorry, not sorry.
pick her up. Get your dumb ass in our boat and let's roll.
And then he brings, so we have the broken boat, we have the boat that where everybody's crammed into, and then we have a mushroom lid boat.
Which
you
still
have-
the
and you
mushroom
have-
boat.
That was our measurement.
You should tell them
Yeah.
mushroom boat. Absolutely, you got to
Touch the mushroom boat with some of the shorties on it.
Yeah, you tie it up. And you guys still have 3 Kuotoa guides. So you can give me 3 little Kuotoa guides. And so now this is the party. And Demogorgon lets you go. He's not here to stop you. He doesn't care.
Didn't care who we are.
No, he doesn't care at all. So this is now our traveling party. Is that everybody?
Nope. Get my-
Chimjar, Seraph, Stool,
Oh, it landed feet down.
Leilana, Ren. Sorry, guys.
Kids
So
with
now
the-
instead of fitting comfortably in 2 boats, you're all crammed in 1 boat. But you do have a mushroom. Would anyone be relegated to the mushroom?
Stool.
Shorties.
Annie the
He
short,
is a
especially
mushroom.
crazy over there that destroyed the boat in the first place. She deserves it.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
4,
I'll take the shame
5,
spot
6,
for a little while.
7, 8, 9 in this boat. It'd be more comfortable with one more
But-
person would go. Probably Kygoth.
No, the elf prince is not going in there.
Elf Prince is not going to get in the mushroom, but he's the
huge.
biggest, so he
He's
takes
huge.
2 spots.
Yeah, we're not putting him. He'll
don't
sink
want
the
him over there
damn
in the
mushroom boat.
shroom?
Yeah.
So who's going to go in the mushroom boat? The other Kuotoa whip?
Sure.
The other Kuotoa? And this guy's your guide. So and he doesn't count, actually. So that's 2, 4, 6, 7. That's fine. 7. He doesn't count. He's in this boat, but he doesn't count. So that's fine. That's effectively 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people. 8 size points will be just fine. And you guys are like this. All right. That's our formation as we go sailing off into the Dark Lake.